don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Good afternoon. Kevin Hastings along with Hunter and Yancey live from the studios in Cherryville, North Carolina at KTC Broadcasting Studios and ktcbroadcasting.com. Good, like I said, good afternoon, morning, everybody. It's 11:56, 7 our time, so close enough to the afternoon for me to say good afternoon and welcome to today's show. We got all kinds of things to talk about. It's getting Monday. Not much happening over the weekend other than some Grammys and the Kobe news. We're going to touch on that just a little bit. Neither one of us are really, I would say, experts in the Kobe Bryant department or knowing anyone that involved in anything like that. So the only thing we can it give us some outside perspective, maybe a little bit on some of it. NC State, North Carolina, we're going to talk a little bit about that, girls and boys. We're going to talk Coach K. Can't spell the word cry, Hunter.
Yeah.
Can't spell Krzyzewski without the word cry, can you?
Nope.
Yeah, that's what it is. Can't spell Krzyzewski without the word cry. 49ers and Chiefs Super Bowl this weekend. We'll be talking a little bit about that. We may have a Mount Rushmore for you of 49ers and or Chiefs. A little bit of NBA All-Star news and notes. And then we've got some NASCAR and Major League Baseball rules to discuss and maybe talk about and more on today's show. Shock Joxx, ktcbroadcasting.com. This is episode 12. I want to thank everybody for listening to our podcast. Brand new, up and going. Hopefully we'll have thousands of these at some point, Hunter, over the years, and we'll start getting some more interviews and other people to talk to. I'm working on a couple things coming up the next few weeks. Zach couldn't make it here today. Cousin Zach comes in on Wednesdays, and he's also a deacon at his church, Hunter, and real quick, he had to visit a member in the hospital today. So
I got you.
Want to give our thoughts and prayers for those folks, and Zach taking care of some of the folks in his church today. And we'll see him again next time. But we're going to have some more guests and stuff coming up. And we do need to work on some of that. Hunter is going to be attending some Hornets games here in the next few weeks. Monday, I need to put you down for Monday. The Magic will be in town. Friday night, we'll have high school basketball, and then we'll have some Hornets interviews and notes coming up in the next few weeks. Mavericks coming in town after that. Real quick, I do want to, let's move over to, let's go NBA first. Well, no. I'm going to go college. We'll end in NBA. Let's see. Real quick, college basketball. Hunter, I'm going to show everybody. Let's see if our new magic tool works. Click on this for everybody watching at home.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 2 or 3?
I think it was 3.
Let's see if our faces are in this one. Let's go. Hey, everybody. You can see us. There we are, in the corner. That worked. And the volume's working?
Yeah.
What about this one? Oh, yeah, I took our faces off. Y'all want to see our faces? Or not see our faces? You want to see our faces? Or not see our faces? For the folks who listen on the podcast, sorry, you can watch on Facebook, ktcbroadcasting.com, and watch the replays on YouTube. Got a little story here, Hunter, for you about some Tuesday night sports. What just happened up there? I click a button I wasn't supposed to. What does it say?
You can hit cancel. Go over there.
What does it say?
I'm not sure. Probably want to rename
Please
it.
enter. I don't know what it's asking. I did something on there. Anyway, all right. Maybe I double clicked on it. There's our faces back in the corner. All right, folks.
Great radio.
Yeah, great radio.
Great radio.
Well, it's not radio.
Yeah, I know.
Podcasting. And so Coach Krzyzewski got a little mad at his own Duke fans last night, Hunter.
I know.
He was angry, if you're reading this story here, by the Cameron Crazies.
Wow.
Who directed a playful Jeff Capel sit with us chant. Capel, of course, former Duke Blue Devil, famous for his game-tying shot to send the Blue Devils into overtime from half court a long time ago. Tar Heels won that game, everybody forgets about. But, Hunter, I mean, for 10 years growing up, everybody did the Jeff Capel shot, and all the Tar Heel fans were like, you know you lost.
You lost.
Like every Duke fan. We'd walk in the gym, they'd shoot from half court. Jeff Capel! Well, you took the L.
You took the L. You took the L.
That was like Marcus Page may have hit one of the greatest shots in
We still
championship
lost.
history.
Yeah, we still lost.
And lost.
That's
Oh, he got
definitely
beat by a more
The
crazier shot
yeah.
after it.
Well, no, his shot was more impressive
Oh,
in the
yeah.
national championship game than the one that won the game.
That's what I'm
But
talking about.
It will always be overlooked because you lost.
Well, I always contend they lost because North Carolina should have had better recruits than Villanova, and we have Nate Britt, and they have Nate Britt's brother winning the championship.
Yeah,
in our faces.
Yeah, we had Nate
I
Britt.
can't stand Nate Britt. He was a walking turnover.
And he played out of control.
And then he went. Then his brother. I used to Hunter when it happened. I said Nate Britt is so bad. His brother beat us in the championship game.
Yeah, he did. He really did. His
He
brother
did.
had a great
He
game
killed us.
too.
Oh yeah. Well, Coach K started yelling at the fans to shut up. Run across the court, yelling at the fans to shut up, saying he's one of us. But
Last I checked,
he's not.
he's not. He was at one
He
point,
was.
but right now he's coaching Pittsburgh.
So is Coach K's point of view is you guys can say and do whatever you want as long as it's not a former Duke player. Because they lets them say some and do outrageous things.
Oh, I
he's not
know.
the lead. I mean, he's not the leader
That's
of them.
exactly
He
right.
doesn't make the chant sheet.
This is how crazy that
Mhm.
Duke Cameron crazies are is the reason. My mother cannot stand Duke. She is a graduate of NC State, or God help her. And she told me about a story. The reason why she really cannot stand Duke fans is because one of the chants that they did when they were playing NC State is, "That's all right. That's okay. You're going to work for us one day."
Mhm.
And I was like, the arrogance.
That's pretty good though.
It's good if you think about it, but
That's great.
the arrogance, man. That's just so arrogant.
I do. I will say this. I like funny cheers.
Yeah.
The mean ones are a little bit too much. And the fact of the matter is, for him to hear the ones that are directed, he hears the ones he don't like,
Right.
but he never hears the other ones
Those.
directed at other teams. And he don't hear those, but
Yeah.
there's certain ones he can hear.
Now, if you saw did you see the video of him? Like he was fired up.
All right, so
Coach K was like, hey, that was burning his britches.
he
That
said,
was really
I don't know if I
burning
made a
his
mistake
britches."
on that, but I've never heard another coach's name yelled out in the middle of the first half, where when we're in a war with the team. First of all, you're playing a basketball game, not a war. You coached at the Army. You should know this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they were saying, come sit with me. We got a different look at what the hell was going on. I thought it was something personal, and I apologize for the students for that. So Coach K's saying he thought it was something personal at Jeff. He said he was still miffed at the timing while noting he was always defend his former player and assistant. He said you shouldn't say that in the middle of the first half, an ACC game. This isn't some cutesy little thing. I'm not going to say, will you please tell me exactly what you're doing, so it's a mistake on my part, but I'd rather make the mistake and protect my guy. Let's think of a different cheer, like defense. Now, Hunter,
Yes.
in 30 years, now he wants to do a different cheer like defense.
Yeah.
In 30 years of saying whatever they want to the Carolina and State coaches,
Mm-hmm.
now why are we not chanting defense, Hunter? This dude, this dude, man, he thinks he's something else. But
He thinks there's method to his madness.
what's
And it's just madness.
yeah? So Duke, here's some things people don't pay attention to. Obviously, if you'll notice, every basketball game you watch on TV, all of them in the NBA,
Yeah.
99% of them in college. Watch the TV, Hunter, because on TV you'll notice what's at the very top of your screen. See if you can.
Talking about the watermark?
No, well,
The ESPN
in that
watermark?
it's in that area. So you're watching a basketball game. You see the court. You got the watermark. But what's at the very top of the screen, pretty much all the way across the top, both corners. What can you see for most of the game? The benches.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah.
Right.
But
Not an overlay.
Yeah.
So when you're
talking
watching a
about, like,
basketball
the actual
game,
picture. Yeah.
right,
You
when
can
you're
see the
watching a game,
benches,
you can always see the benches.
except
can't
at
you?
Cameron.
Yeah.
You can't see it at Cameron.
Ah,
It's
what
reversed.
am I saying? What I'm saying is for years, everyone's known it. And NC State, Carolina, all the fans have known it. Coach K has a potty mouth. He says all kinds of bad words. He acts like a fool sometimes, throwing in stomping tantrums and yelling at referees and acting like a fool. I wonder why Duke is the one,
Yeah.
Hunter, that doesn't have their home court seats on the
this
side
side.
where the TV can catch Coach K and his antics. They don't. They've got them zoomed in on the camera and crazies. They're only like 4 rows deep, and it makes them look like the whole stadium's full of crazies. So they zoom in on that instead of showing Coach K cussing every 3 words at everyone. And then you saw it on display. He just lost his. I think he's got a temper problem. Stomped across the floor yelling at his fans. But I mean this goes into the he doesn't play away games either. He does not play away games out of conference that's been assigned to him.
Neutral.
By the ACC.
They're neutral sites.
They're all neutral. So
neutral sites, and mostly in the state of New York.
I think I went through 1 year count. It was about 4 or 5 years ago. So the numbers aren't going to be accurate.
You could equivalent him to being the Nick Saban of college basketball,
right,
where they don't play true away games out of conference.
They do not.
They
just don't.
Neutral sites. If it's not in Dallas for Nick Saban or in Georgia for Nick Saban, it's in New York for Coach K. They always want to play
at Madison Square Garden.
At the Garden.
And what he says is that, in the tournament, you play in these big arenas and these other things. You don't have to go on the road and play people. Maybe. So, is he concerned about his win-loss record? Is that why we schedule, all these cupcakes at the first of the year and then at home? That's the thing. You're better than that. So why don't you go on the road? So
isn't St. John's located in New York?
Yeah.
Then how many times have they played St. John's but at Madison Square Garden?
Every time.
They don't play at St. John's.
They
play at MSG.
So he was mad at his fans. So I kind of want to get on this.
Yeah.
He even brought up Kobe in it, and very emotional, and that whatever, Coach K. That's a totally different subject. Different day, a few days later. I understand, but come on, man. Some of this stuff is just, it gets silly. What I was saying, Hunter, I did the research on it a few years ago, and I can't remember I think about the last 5 or 6 years when he just quit playing them at all. But I went back and was counting road games that they actually played.
Yeah.
And every year it was like 1 or 2. And then almost every year, one of them was a loss. All of his losses were coming in these road games. So they just shut those down completely.
Out of conference.
Yes, out of conference road games. Because in the conference, you can't.
He can't get out of
He
it.
can't. So he plays. Well, how many road conference games a year? How many do they have to play? How many games? Do you know how many regular season games we play in the ACC?
No.
I'll
Probably
do a quick search down the Duke Blue Devils schedule. Let's see this shenanigans. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They opened up the season
first 8 games
with 8 games at home.
Or neutral site, because the Kansas game was neutral.
Where was the Michigan State game? Was that neutral, or did they actually go to Michigan State this year? Was that the Big Ten Challenge and they went there?
I think they did.
Whose card? Is that Andre's card? I just heard.
Probably.
Andre's bringing Hunter some Chinese food here in a minute.
Yeah.
So Hunter's going to be incapacitated for a little bit, I think.
I'll wait. I'll wait to eat it. I can wait.
Can you wait on Chinese food?
I'm not
wait Chinese food.
I can wait on this.
So Duke decided to play 10 straight regular. Is that the? That's the latest ones. 10 straight home games start the season. Michigan State, at Virginia Tech, which is assigned. Then home Wofford, home Brown, home Boston College. Now, and so when Alabama plays them, Hunter, they make the excuse that we have a bigger stadium. We'll sell more tickets. We'll just pay you guys what you would have made at the smaller stadium.
And you can't do that at Cameron.
But Duke doesn't have a bigger stadium.
They have probably the smallest stadium.
It's the same stadium. Appalachian State has the same stadium size as Duke.
And that's
all I need to tell you.
And they bring in nearly nowhere the money Duke brings in.
So North Carolina played at App State one time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's 9,000, just as many seats as Cameron. So they came at 9,000 seats, and so when you play, Wofford, Brown, there's Boston guys. That's Wofford and Brown though. Let's see who else would it not be better for those schools to have Duke come into them for these students to get to see the Duke players, like Central Arkansas, Georgia State, Stephen F. Austin beat Duke. What if that was at home?
That was at home.
I mean,
you mean for Stephen F. Austin?
Right.
Yeah, they
beat
him at
for
Duke.
them.
Yeah.
So then you look down the schedule, and there's no more away games except ACC. So they don't play a single unless it was Michigan State that game.
Well, I think it was.
I think it did. I think they got forced to this year.
Because the Big Ten ACC challenge. And so they had to play Michigan State on the road. And then it's the question of, well, why don't you look at, their rival? What's North Carolina's schedule been like this year? What's North Carolina?
Well, they do the same thing. They used to play about 3 or 4 road games a year, and they've started in recent years buckling that down. What Dean Smith used to do, Hunter, is they say the seniors on the team. Say Vince Carter. This is the best one I can give you.
Yeah.
They play a school close to the seniors' hometown.
Yeah.
So their parents and family, people who couldn't come to watch any of their games because NCAA doesn't pay their players,
right,
they'll have a chance to play. So Carolina played Bethune-Cookman one year at Bethune-Cookman. So
yeah, okay. Well, here
that's just a quick example of what Carolina did. So I remember when Jameson they played Charlotte.
North Carolina opened with an ACC matchup against Notre Dame. Then they went to play at UNC Wilmington the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Then they played home against Gardner-Webb.
Was that Wilmington? At Wilmington?
At UNC Wilmington. They played at home against Gardner-Webb, home against Elon, and then Alabama, Michigan, Oregon. They were all neutral site. Those were part of that Maui tournament or Atlantis,
Bahamas,
the Atlantis tournament, whichever one it was. They were home against Ohio State. That was the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Then they played at Virginia, home against Wofford, at Gonzaga. So they played in California.
Okay.
Then came back and played home against neutral site against UCLA.
There ain't no camera in there right now, Andre. Delivering the Chinese food. He says he's gonna wait for a little. You wouldn't slide me my phone over, would you? While you standing there, be awesome. All right, let's see what Andre says about this, Hunter.
Yeah.
Question of the day. Saturday, and I made my point over Terry every time. I said the cutoff line for NCAA tournament is always everyone worse than NC State doesn't get in no matter what. NC State's the line. Whether they have a good year, they can get in. If they don't, everyone below them don't get in. So we were talking Saturday, Andre, about that. And so with Carolina beating State, does that knock State out of the tournament? Losing to the last place team in the ACC.
He said it should.
All right, he said it should, folks.
It should.
Andre says,
listen,
kick NC State out. If you do kick NC State out, there's still 6 teams in the tournament.
I'll tell you what, PNC is, Dean Smith Center 2.0. 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
7 straight wins at PNC.
Let's discuss that for a second. How about what Hunter is saying there about Coach K? I mean, not Coach K, but Roy and I guess Coach K. It is Coach K. At NC State. So what's going on? Coach K at State had Coach Roy Williams now has, folks, as of today, the same exact.
This is a different Coach K you're speaking on, too, right? This is
same
Kevin Keats. Coach Keats.
The same exact number of wins at PNC Pavilion.
Yeah.
As Kevin Keats has. Let me repeat that. Roy Williams has the same number of wins at NC State's home floor as the NC State
current
head basketball coach.
If you're confused on what we mean by that, I'm sorry, but Roy Williams plays at PNC only once a year.
Yeah.
Kevin Keats plays there with his home games multiple times during the season. And Coach Roy Williams has got the same amount of wins on NC State's floor as NC State's head coach has all the years he's been there. So, I mean, I've got the stuff pulled up in front of me. North Carolina coaches against NC State. Roy Williams, overall, not counting just him being at North Carolina, this includes him being at Kansas, 36-4. So he's 36-4 overall against NC State. That's North Carolina. Dean Smith was 60-30 against NC State coaches. The only NC State coach to have a winning record against North Carolina was Everett Case. He coached from 1946 to 1964. He was 25-19. So North Carolina, I mean, folks, it's funny, because I brought this up. North Carolina fan, obviously. Kev's a North Carolina fan, obviously. The thing, we always hear people want to bring up North Carolina's having a down year, and it's always, I feel like, State fans. that really, like, this is their moment. You guys are down. Let's rub it in your face. We're having a pretty decent year right now. Let's go ahead and get crazy about it. And then when push comes to shove, and you guys play us, and it's not at the Dean Smith Center. It's at PNC. It's on your home floor. People are expecting you to win against a crippled North Carolina team this year with injury, and you lose. The all-time series record, North Carolina 159, NC State 78. To quote a great man on our Saturday morning sports show, that's not a rivalry.
Great.
Great. I have to give Terry some credit. I can't throw him under the bus while I'm throwing his whole team under the bus.
Oh,
and I just, you know what, I'm going to continue on the rant. NC State fans, I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you're getting butthurt, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I hate to say it, but right now you will always be little brother. You will always be little brother. Let's slide to football. Everybody always says North Carolina fans scream, hey, we can't wait for football season. The overall record in the football all-time series record is North Carolina 67, NC State 36. In baseball, North Carolina 168, NC State's 135. That one's a little bit closer. And then, you know,
Hold on.
I'm just saying.
If NC State wins every game in football and baseball for the next 33 years, they can pass North Carolina.
And that's not going to happen.
33 years in a row.
33 years in a row.
Well, my question, you know,
It's just, you know, it's
does
so
NC
funny.
State
And I don't,
or Wake Forest?
I don't hate NC State. It's not what I'm getting at. But I don't want you to just, and it's gonna sound arrogant of me after I was already saying that about Duke fans, but you're just not on the same caliber as a program yet. You're just not. You do have a national championship. I'll give that to you. Well, North Carolina has 5 in basketball. But this is what I'm getting at
6,
though.
I
You know, I love it when teams want to always go crazy when one of the blue bloods is down. They say, "Yeah, we're gonna get them. You guys are awful this year. We're gonna get you. You guys can't beat us. You guys won't even make the tournament."
You know who could have helped NC State? Tom Gugliotta.
and you know, you just hear all that. You just hear all that, and then you play. And it's a primetime game on ESPN at 7 o'clock. Expecting, you know, this quote-unquote Tobacco Road rivalry to possibly go NC State's way this year when all the signs really are pointing to them. No Cole Anthony, no backup to Cole Anthony. You know, Brandon Robinson had been injured. You know, it's injury-ridden for North Carolina, and guess what? They lay an egg. NC State lays an egg, and North Carolina goes into PNC for their 7th straight victory at PNC. It just, you know what? It's music to my ears. It's music to my ears. I love it. I eat it up.
Hunter is finding a silver lining in a North Carolina basketball season.
I have to, because what do you hear? Everybody's like, why is North Carolina bad this year? You know, they might not even stay over 500. Well, guess what? That win got us to 500. Got 10 and 10. 10 and 10 overall, where NC State has a better record. And just what I'm getting at really, though, is this. Guess what, NC State? This was your shot. Because
Clemson took their shot and got it.
Clemson took their shot and got it. That's exactly right.
That's the worst.
That's the
Carolina
and
fans
I'll
probably,
admit that.
Honestly, you'd probably have rather lost to
worse.
State this year than losing Clemson at home.
I agree. I can agree
because
with that.
you've lost to State
but
before.
Here's the thing. NC State, this was your shot. It was at home with no Cole Anthony. We were clawing just to try and get some wins, and then you go 6 minutes towards the end of the game with maybe scoring 4 points. You can't do that. You already played a Virginia team and got lucky to win, not scoring in 10 minutes. That's trash. So this is, you know, this was your opportunity. Now you're coming to Dean Smith Center next, and Cole Anthony's probably going to be back. I'm just saying. There was your opportunity, and you blew it. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Well, the
NC State girls are having a good year.
Except for there's one number on there, Hunter.
Yeah.
What was that one for?
Oh, it's the loss record.
That's for. And who gave him that loss?
Oh, you lost. Oh, the North Carolina Tar Heels.
That's for Terry.
Oh,
that's for Terry.
The women's basketball team. Oh, don't get me started on this now.
Got a couple of Duke fans that joined a few minutes ago now, and they missed all the fun Duke talk. We've already talked about Coach K and his antics and him switching sides of the floor so the TV cameras don't have to look at him and see him cussing his players and his fans and all of that antics. So, that's pretty fun. Little talk there with NC State, North Carolina, Duke. Question here, Hunter, and
Yeah. Sorry, NC State fans, I love you, but I had to go on a rant.
Yeah,
Mama,
he did.
I love you.
He's got one
I
silver
love you,
lining right now.
But
He's
now,
excited.
you know, that you want to know what's really burning my britches is people talking high and mighty just because North Carolina's having a down season in basketball. It's like, hey,
Poor Hunter.
you couldn't beat them. Sorry,
If
you're not the best team in North Carolina.
shouldn't State realistically
Yeah.
call the SEC and beg?
No.
They're not in the same. Aren't they not in the same division of football now or something?
What are you talking about?
Aren't they split up in divisions? NC State and in basketball. There's something. I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about the Atlantic and Coastal divisions
Right.
within the ACC.
Is that just football? That's not basketball.
It's not basketball. It's just football. Basketball, dude, trust me, I know, man. It's so dumb.
What I'm saying is, when's the last time we won an ACC championship? My point with a lot of those, so folks, I've been saying Appalachian State should be asking for them, but at what point does Wake Forest and North Carolina State not say, you know,
I think they would, but for their programs as a whole, because it wouldn't just be basketball, you know,
Right.
it would be
That's what I'm
football
saying.
too. I think their programs as a whole would do better.
NC State would
if,
blow up.
if they wanted to. They got to go like Big East, because I'm sorry, whatever hopes you're having to have a great year in the SEC in football,
Well,
it's not going to
that's
happen.
that's not what I'm getting at. And that's what people say when I say
Are you just
Appalachian
talking
should
about?
be
Are you just at least
playing
talking
out
about
recruiting and win?
the SEC
Right.
trying to get into North Carolina?
that. So with North Carolina, with the state of North Carolina is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what
I keep saying App State should bet. You know, people are like, well, App can't compete. Well, first of all, they beat an SEC team this year. A team they beat Tennessee this year. So that's two technically SEC teams. And when I pointed out on Saturday, 8 schools have not won an SEC title since 1979. Appalachians won the same number of SEC titles in 40 years as some as 8 SEC schools. So and that's the thing, everybody. Well, they can't beat Alabama. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they could be 5th, they could be 6th,
Here's what I would question though, because when you say SEC, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Like talking sports wise.
Well, football.
Football.
Right.
And for Appalachian State, when you talk about their athletic program, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, football.
It's football. So for them, that would probably make more sense to move to the SEC, because that would be a football decision.
Right.
They
So
would,
here's the
because
NC State
SEC,
thing.
because the SEC outside of maybe Kentucky and Florida usually is not the strongest at basketball.
State's only had 2
That's what I was
NBA quality players in the last 10 to 15 years, and they paid one of them under the table to get
Dennis
there.
Smith.
And we don't know how much they paid T.J. Warren. But my thing is, what I'm saying is that, and everybody's like, well, we'd lose the basketball. No, you can still play them.
No,
There's nobody saying you can't play them out of Conference 1. You can
South
still
Carolina,
play.
South Carolina, and Clemson, Georgia, and Georgia Tech play every year.
So you can still play 'em.
Yeah.
The thing about that is that in recruiting in North Carolina, you have 4 schools competing in one conference. Are there any other states? And there might be. I'm not sure. Is it the
Probably
Pac-12 have? Does the Pac-12 have 4 teams in California?
USC, UCLA, Stanford. Well, there's 3.
Right.
And then
California is way bigger, right?
Oh, wait. What'd I say? UCLA,
USC,
Stanford, USC, Cal.
Okay.
Cal.
So there's 4 teams.
Was it Cal Berkeley? Was it just Cal? I just go by Cal.
Cal's not. They go California.
Yeah, Cal. That's
The
what I'm
Golden
saying.
Bears.
Yeah, Golden Bears.
All right. There you go.
Maybe even Texas.
All right. If you go, yeah, right. So maybe Texas, maybe California. California has 4. I'm looking at it right now. Those states are way bigger than North Carolina.
Yeah.
Like way bigger.
Population-wise.
It's not even. I think Carolina gets 14. We get 14 votes, and they get a whole lot more. But those are the 2 top vote getters, I think, in New York, in the country, in the Electoral College. So what I'm saying is that these North Carolina schools have to split up 4 sets of recruiting in a smaller state in the same conference. And that has to hurt all of them across the board at some point.
Right.
Because each one of them you go in. So Hunter, you're getting recruited at Bandy's there, and you've got 4 different schools from the same conference. So it's not like, say if NC State came in and they were SEC, they could be like, Hunter, you could play at Duke and North Carolina in the ACC, or you could play SEC football.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, those number 1
and see,
recruits in the state would go to them. Well,
that's what I was
Appalachian or
alluding
NC
with.
State.
That's what I was alluding with, though, with Appalachian State, it would make more sense because the SEC is known for football. Appalachian State is known for football. So if I was to look at NC State, I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, I'm like, well, what's your pitch? You want to be one of the top 3 teams in SEC basketball? I mean, the SEC is not really
their pitch is that they're decent at football now,
and questionable right now.
Well, and if they get the thing about what I'm saying, Hunter, is that once one of these teams goes SEC in football, that means the majority of the best players in North Carolina will be going there.
Right.
That's going to change. When people say App can't compete right now, I know they can't. But what they will do, Hunter, is then whatchamacallit, the kid at North Carolina. Think you'd be looking at Appalachian State if they're in the SEC instead of the Tar Heels?
Maybe.
I mean, think about it. If you're what's his name? Howell? Sam Howell. If you're Sam Howell coming out, the number 1 recruit in North Carolina, and Appalachian State says you can play in the SEC football with us, or you can play on the Tar Heels team in the ACC, who's never won anything and probably never will while you're there. There's just so much that's going to go on in the recruiting, and almost I would think Wake Forest or State should try to get App and get 2 like that, and then call the SEC or something like that. The SEC should be trying to hit that market somehow.
North Carolina.
And there's so many teams that they go.
I mean,
the SEC would probably. I'm saying App State would be, I think, a better fit, but NC State, I think, would be
because
best
that's one of the things that the SEC would really look at before they would even indulge that you'd want to come to the SEC. They'd look at you and say, well, what are you bringing to our conference? And with Appalachian State, you can at least say we have a great football program. The SEC has already got a great football stand-hold. They've got a footprint really in college football.
State's got a giant stadium. Their football stadium's massive.
It is big. Carter Finley is big. Stadium. It's a big stadium, but other than that, it's like what NC State is at right now. Maybe a great baseball team. The SEC's got good baseball.
What has Vanderbilt brought to the conference this year?
This year, I don't know. They're usually dominant in baseball.
Look at them in basketball. 0-6 in the conference. Didn't do nothing in football. We know that. Missouri 2-5 in the conference. South Carolina 3-3, lost to Appalachian. Arkansas, did they win a game in football in Tennessee?
Sure.
They had awful football seasons, and so that's my point.
For the majority of the rest of them, they can at least say if it's not basketball, football, we're at least competitive.
I think that's my point on all this is that when someone says SEC and we talk these conferences, the most of the time you're only talking 3 or 4 teams at the top, and then everybody else is garbage, and they are. And if you can't admit that, I'm sorry. SEC basketball, 22, 13, and 17 on the rankings, and no one else is ranked. Best team after that is 13 and 7. There's a 15 and 4 Razorbacks team, but they're 3-3 in the conference. I just think one of these North Carolina teams, especially when the SEC expands, when they ever decide to expand, I think they have to hit North Carolina, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those. Wake Forest could almost, jump in there, but if you got Wake, and it's just me being OCD about it, then you got Wake and Vanderbilt, and they're both really smart schools, and they're black and gold. I know it has nothing to do with anything.
Just flip-flop them.
It would just aggravate, yeah.
Just flip-flop them. Between those two, if you were to say Wake Forest or NC State, who I think would make the move first, I think it would be Wake Forest just because NC State's got so much. It's already so deep in the ACC. Like the ties it has in the ACC, it's won it's won a national championship through the ACC as well in basketball. Their baseball team is really rooted in the ACC, so I don't know. It would be tough to see them. Not to mention, they always you can never really shy away from the Tobacco Road rivalry between NC State, Duke, and Carolina, all within like 20 miles of each other. So it's just one of those things where if you were to ask me which one of the two between the ACC schools, Wake Forest and North Carolina and NC State, were to leave and to go to another conference, and I'm not just going to assume it would be the SEC because I could see the Big East trying to come back into play. Are they still a thing, or did that dissolve into the American Conference? Because remember, I want you to think about it. Everybody from the Big East left to go play ACC basketball. It was Louisville, they left.
There's your Big
East. It was
East.
Syracuse, they left.
Folks watching at home, I'll put it up on the screen.
Okay, so if not the Big East, then maybe the American.
They
Conference.
might be strictly basketball though now.
I think they are because I don't.
None of those teams
have football. So maybe the American, because American at least has football. They've got Southern Florida. Yeah. They've got UConn. Yeah, they've got Temple football teams. So If not,
does the Big Ten come south to North Carolina?
well, the Big Ten came slightly south, claiming Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
They took Maryland away from the ACC
And West Virginia.
and Big 12.
They're in the 12.
Big 12 came
Sorry.
east. The Big 12 came east from the Midwest and West and claimed West Virginia.
Why are they in the Big 12?
I don't know. I really don't understand that because I thought the Big Ten,
Like,
the Big
every
10 would have
conference
ma-
game in every sport requires planes.
I was about to say we can break down every one of these conferences, and I can tell you there's no sense that they're there.
All right, real
There's
quick
no
before we
sense
move
that they're
on.
there. Kind of like Hawaii, a part of the Mountain West Conference.
All right,
They got to go to Boise.
here's what I think on realignment. Let's see what you think. I know you're going to poo-poo
No, I
will.
will.
Shoot it down. But
We'll talk
what
about it.
if
I like realignment talks.
let's take
You
in,
could do that in NCAA games.
let's take in travel into consideration.
Okay.
All right, California could have their own conference.
Technically.
North Carolina could have their own conference.
Well, I would say
Let's think about it. Let's look at the ACC. If it's North Carolina, you got 4 teams already. Appalachian,
okay. So you got Wake Forest, NC State, North Carolina, Duke, and now Appalachian,
Charlotte, East Carolina, West Carolina. That's 8.
Western Carolina is not nowhere near that caliber. But UNC Wilmington.
But that's fine.
You're just
My
going
point
off
is,
of
Hunter,
schools.
somebody's got to come in last.
Yeah.
We can't just put, if you put the 20 best teams in one conference, someone's going to come in last.
Okay, well, technically you could say yes because you got UNC Wilmington,
Right.
UNC Greensboro, UNC, or was it North Carolina Central? You've got
What's the
North
point?
Carolina
My point is,
A&T.
what's the point of watching Pittsburgh go 3-16 instead of Western Carolina go 3-16?
Because I think
Would
they
that-
go 0-6.
Well, but if they're an ACC school, Hunter, they're now getting ACC
yeah,
recruits.
but then you're technically not going ACC anymore. You're saying
Right.
come play in the North Carolina conference.
Well, what if you had North Carolina, South Carolina, the Carolinas conference?
That's what I was about to say. Why? To me, it would much rather be North Carolina or South
We stopped at
Carolina,
8 there and then add the South Carolina schools.
South Carolina through to Virginia.
Let's-
South Carolina.
Let's just
through
do
to
the
Virginia.
Carolinas because we named the 8 major ones there.
You would go Clemson, South Carolina,
Coastal.
Coastal
College of
Carolina,
Charleston.
College of Charleston.
There's 12.
South Carolina Upstate.
I mean, there's 12 teams right there that are major basketball schools that play in the NCAA that you could just throw a team conference together right then. And then Appalachian State and Clemson could rule everything.
But you know, now if you strictly wanted to keep it big schools,
Right.
that way at least there's a level playing field on competition. I would include Appalachian State in that. I would go South Carolina through North Carolina and Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
You can have Virginia Tech, Virginia. I'll even throw VCU in there, Virginia Commonwealth, because they've got a great basketball program. When Shaka Smart was there, it's still not bad. I would continue with Appalachian State. I would throw North Carolina, Duke, NC State, Wake Forest in there. East Carolina can come as well because they're one of the larger schools in North Carolina. Then you can bring up, Coastal Carolina, South Carolina, Clemson, College of Charleston. That there is a very decent, just a conference right there between three. If you want to talk about student size of the school itself.
Well, Florida could have its own conference.
Yeah, because it's Miami, Florida, Florida State,
Central Florida,
Central
Southern Florida.
Florida. Florida International,
which way would Georgia
Florida
go?
Atlantic.
Because there's only a few schools in Georgia. There's not really that many in Georgia.
No, I mean, of course, there's the big two: Georgia Tech.
Who else? Are you throwing Savannah State and Georgia State in there? No.
Maybe Georgia Southern.
Maybe Georgia Southern.
Maybe Georgia Southern.
I'd give it to them. They won national championships.
And
Give
maybe,
Georgia Southern
and
or
maybe
not.
Georgia State. Georgia State has got a decent basketball program.
They beat Tennessee in football this
Yeah,
year.
they beat them in football this year. So, but that's not enough. So they would have to go. They would have to coincide with another.
Tennessee lost
is
to Georgia
Southern.
State.
It's Georgia State. Yeah, in football.
Georgia State. Tennessee holds 110,000 fans.
And they all watched them take that L.
The
Oh, it
stadium,
was-
the stadium is on the river, where
What makes-
people can just
yeah.
park their boats at
Yeah.
the stadium.
What makes it so
And
funny?
they got beat by Georgia State.
You want to know what's so funny though? They paid Georgia State to come play
I know
that
they
game
did,
and
I'm
get
sure they did.
and Tennessee to get beat.
Oh yeah, Appalachian was paid to beat Michigan. That's how it works.
That's how it works, man. Western Carolina at one time was leading Alabama a few years ago. They got paid, but then they got washed. So I personally, I would like some conference realignment. I think it would be fun. I think it would be better for schools in general, like Appalachian State. I know that they have a lot of, success in football, but I feel like with the recruits that they already bring in already, which in the Big Sky,
They've been Division I in every sport except football up until
but
the
they're
few
part.
years
But
ago.
what are they part of the Big Sky?
Sunbelt.
Sunbelt. So they're part of the Sunbelt. And could you imagine though if they were a part of a bigger? Like I agree with you. Could you imagine if an Appalachian State or who was another independent that was not an independent but not Notre Dame, Memphis. Memphis is strong in basketball and football.
Yeah.
Could you imagine just how much better they could possibly be if they played in a conference that's not Conference USA? So if they were part of the ACC, or there's another team that you can throw into the SEC, Memphis. I mean, so I can agree with a little bit of conference rearrangement. I don't like that the Big 12 has West Virginia. I will never like that. West Virginia should have been a part of an East Coast.
Is Kimba starting?
Yeah,
that right?
He's a starter. East Conference starter. He was voted Eastern Conference.
Oh, that's what happens when you play for the Celtics and or the Lakers. You get lots of votes. Huh?
Well, it's someone else, and I know it's going away from us. But what's
No,
someone
we're
else
going to
was-
this next.
Yeah, we'll go to that next. Well, then here, I'll just finish it up. Conference realignment, would love to see it. In all facets. It's not just for football, for basketball. Like, I just think it would be really fun for all of them. The only one out of there are only two schools I could see in North Carolina that could really be up for it, and one of them is Appalachian State. And if one of them is the ACC school, I could see Wake Forest doing it before NC State.
What if?
Just because NC State will be like, we've got history here. Like, we're historically
At what
an
point
ACC
does it
school.
matter though? You're 10 miles from everywhere. That's my thing. If I'm NC State, I'd want out. And if they do leave the ACC, you could just call East Carolina if they really want to.
Oh, if they really want
They
to
really want North Carolina
yeah.
school, which I just think's overkill.
Well, that's another rivalry, East Carolina and NC State. They don't like each other at all.
I'm thinking I've got. Are the starters officially? Is that official now? Is it over with?
Yeah,
the
so
voting?
NBA right now, NBA All-Star voting is over. The starters have been chosen from each conference, Western
Right.
Conference, Eastern Conference. Giannis and LeBron are the captains, but I think they're going to do the same thing they've been doing the past few years, where
that's
they
someone
vote,
else's
where they
ballot.
draft.
That's not even the.
Where they draft from it. I know Kemba Walker was named a starter. I know that for a fact. Kemba Walker was. Pascal Siakam was as well. Of course, Luka
How does putting
was.
them on random teams make people would rather watch better instead
I
of
don't
East
know.
West?
I like
Because-
East West.
Well,
But it's because they claim there are better players in the West than the East. It's like, well, they're all pros. I mean, and you're basically just putting the best in the West versus the best in the East.
listen. If you can't make if you're arguing about a roster spot after 12 people, you're not.
You're not an all-star.
Give it up.
You're not an all-star.
Come on, man.
Jimmy Butler was snubbed from, I think, being a starter.
But you have nobody to pull for because your team. What you could have two players on two different teams.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan, like
Which
you
is
always
how it-
pull for
which
the
is
East.
how it-
If you're a
how-
Hornets fan,
yeah.
you pull for the East. If
That's
you're-
how it was a few years ago. Of course, all of the Golden State players, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson, they might have been voted in, but they didn't all play on the same team. First of all,
Right.
that All-Star team would have been busted. But second of all, I can agree with that wholeheartedly. When you go into this, they always used to say, who you rooting for, East versus West, kind of like how they do in football. Is it AFC versus NFC? Who you rooting for, AFC versus NFC? Well, I'm going to root for the team that has my players in it. As a Washington fan, I would root for the NFC. Same thing,
Right.
well, now for the Browns, you'd be the AFC. Now it's like, well, who you rooting for, Team Giannis or Team LeBron? I like Giannis over LeBron, so I guess I'll root for Team Giannis. What if Giannis drafts James Harden? Well, I don't like James Harden, so I don't know. I don't like it. I liked the original East versus West.
So
I just don't.
So the 10 starters have to be picked first? Is that how that works?
I guess, man.
Reserves will be announced January 30th, so that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the starting, the picks, geez, right now, I guess we'll talk about this on Friday. That'll be easier. Well, let's real quick. We'll get through this and out of this then real quick. Kimba, Trae Young, Giannis, Siakam,
Yeah.
and Embiid is leading the way for the East out west. Everybody on the Western team could get to 40. Luka, Harden,
Well, maybe
LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Kawhi.
Maybe they did go back to the East-West because
No, this is just I was reading.
No, I know
that's
that,
just somebody
but-
putting it in it. They didn't go East-West. He's just saying this is the way they. This is the voting.
Because I saw they put the asterisk there and they said captain. And they were talking about how
Right.
Giannis and LeBron are captains.
Right.
I'm like,
The
yeah,
top
I get
two
that.
get to be captains.
Yeah.
The top 10 are, or I think they actually do take 5 from each side. We'll figure out Friday.
Man, I was gonna say we'll figure it out because that's how they did it last year.
I really don't want
and
to
the
tell
year
anybody
before.
wrong, but it's
Well,
to
I'll
me,
tell you
it's
what you
silly.
didn't say wrong. You didn't get any of the starters wrong.
Well,
You did
we
not?
think.
No, you did not.
I don't know. Might
All-star
not know
roster.
till Friday. We think those are the stars. How about that?
Oh, okay,
We're gonna
those
go
are
with
the
that.
starters.
All right, Hunter.
Yes.
Quick new rules in some of these sports.
New rules.
New rules.
New rules.
This isn't my new rule, but I always like to come up with a new rule.
New rules. Girls drool. Just kidding. That was a joke.
So, the rumor in Major League Baseball
Yeah.
is the National League is looking to maybe add the DH.
Hate it. You told it to me before we started the show. Hate it.
Hunter hates it.
I hate it. To me, I wish the DH just wasn't even a thing in baseball. Because then you're asking these pitchers, who that might have been one of the main reasons they got drafted, was because they could make great contact with the ball and when they would get up to the plate.
It's
And
silly.
then you're
It's silly to
asking
me.
them to
We'll have
forget about it.
12 pitchers on a roster,
and not one of them
and
can
they'll
hit.
throw for one batter a day,
And that's it.
and that's it.
That's it.
That's what I did today, guys. I threw for one dude. I threw, and they don't even have to get that guy out.
No.
A lot of times the lefty will come in, walk the guy, or hit him, and give up a hit.
And then
He's out.
it's just like that's one of the gripes I have with postseason baseball is in one inning you can go through like 4 pitchers. They'll like maybe throw to one batter, then the manager will come out here, throw his hand up, whichever one he wants out of the bullpen, and it's like, oh well, that's all you get. It's like, come on now.
You would think the pitchers that can hit would be negotiating more in their contracts.
Oh,
like Wainwright, and
Madison Bumgarner should. Madison Bumgarner last year, it was either last year or the year before, wanted to take part
In
in
the
the
home
home run derby, and they wouldn't let him.
He can hit them out. He's not a good hitter for average. He does strike out a ton.
If he's going to go up, well, what do they do now?
Right.
All they do is strike out or hit home runs. If that's what you're getting out of Madison Bumgarner, then why would you not go up there and say, hey, man, shoot for the fence?
So there's a big argument now. All right, let me give you quick notes. I was telling Hunter before the show, there was a tweet that kind of, because I already know this stuff, and people just watch TV and do whatever people tell them or think whatever people tell them. One guy was tweeting about how people love just pitchers striking out 50% of the time, which is not true, first of all.
I don't like watching strikeouts.
And second of all,
I get more excited when a pitcher hits the ball.
Right. Second of all, as far as the strikeouts are concerned, Hunter, the game, the way people play it now, is just so stupid to where you strike out even with 2 strikes. I was watching Pete Rose in an interview yesterday, and he was talking about he couldn't coach right now because he would bench every player that sit up there and try to hit a home run with 2 strikes. He said, "Well, why is everybody striking out? I don't. He didn't understand what the point of all that was, and I really."
All-time hits leader would expect him to say that.
Exactly. So, and I'm kind of in the. I didn't even never see Pete Rose play, but I'm kind of in the same. I'm in the same thing with him. If we sit down, and this is, let's say Trout and Pujols, for example, and I tell you that Albert is better at home runs, batting average, doubles, RBIs, hits, runs, everything, except Mike Trout gets more walks and more strikeout. Mike Trout has struck out twice as much as Pujols in his career. Mike Trout this year, if Pujols has another year like he has, will pass Albert Pujols for strikeouts. This is Albert's 20th year. This is Trout's 10th. He will pass Pujols in half the time for the most strikeouts. So how can we? So when I close your eyes, Hunter, and I say, all right, I got
closed.
2 batters.
Yes.
He's got his eyes closed for what?
Yeah, I got my eyes closed.
Player A hits more home runs.
Yes.
More RBI, better batting average, more hits, more doubles, more runs, wins more. Or the player B has more walks and twice as many strikeouts. Which one's the better baseball player?
I'm going to take contestant A.
Almost everyone will. But if you ask someone today, or that has anything to do with today's game, no, strikeouts are good. How can swinging and missing
be
better than putting the ball in play? I'll never know it. I'll
The
never
name
understand it.
of the game is hitting a ball with a bat, not standing there with said bat and watching said ball.
I always thought the
come
people
by.
who struck out the most were the worst hitters. I mean,
I
ain't
agree.
that the point? Like, you're
That's
not
the
making
point.
contact.
When growing up, playing Little League,
Right.
who were the batters that were after at least a 5 spot? Ones that couldn't hit. They until today when they start doing analytics.
I get the same things, Hunter. The same people will tell you strikeouts don't matter and RBIs don't matter.
That's a joke.
The complete opposite of the end of the spectrum from
here's
each
the thing.
one.
If RBIs don't matter, then why is that one of the statistics that they bring up when they're doing, voting on awards for the season? They always want to highlight, Freddie Freeman had over 100 RBIs this year.
They say batters get the same hits in RBI situations. Something like the RBI situation is the same percentage of whatever. And then they say strikeouts don't matter. Well, then why aren't the pitchers batting fourth?
Get them out of the way.
If strikeouts and RBIs don't matter, why aren't they batting fourth or fifth or sixth? I know that's a convoluted question or statement, but I mean, come on. At some point, you got to see that this stuff is getting silly. Hunter, I'm going to read you.
I mean, what do they take into consideration when they give someone the batting title? Just home runs?
No, it's just batting average.
It's batting
That's what the
average. That's the batting title's batting average.
Hunter, I'm going to read some names.
Yeah.
Yes or no, good player.
Good player.
Great let's say great baseball player.
Great baseball
I ain't going to
player.
say good. How about great?
Mhm.
Hank Aaron,
Yeah.
Babe Ruth,
Yes.
Alex Rodriguez,
Absolutely.
Albert Pujols,
Yes.
Barry Bonds,
Yes.
Lou Gehrig,
I didn't watch him, but yes.
Stan Musial.
Don't know who that is. Yes.
Did you really just say that?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I promise you I don't. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
I'm just going to look at everyone at home, and he's a young Braves fan, and we're going to forgive him. But I just want to lose my mind on that one, Hunter. Stan Musial.
I don't know who that is.
He might be the second or third best left-handed hitter of all time. I'll put it that way. St. Louis Cardinals, probably best hitter ever before Albert Pujols was born. Ty Cobb,
Yes.
Jimmy Fox.
Yes.
You know who Jimmy Fox is, but
Nope.
not Stan. No. Okay. I just want to make sure. I was like, Jimmy Fox is one for someone not to know.
Don't know. Just wanted to say yes.
You know who Eddie Murray is?
Yeah, I know who that is.
Who
Pretty good.
do you play for?
I don't remember.
He don't.
I don't remember. I know the name. I know the name. But
Not
I don't
Eddie
remember.
Murphy.
No, I know
Eddie
Eddie
Murray.
Murray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Willie Mays.
Yes.
Ted Williams.
Yes.
All right. How about King Griffey Jr.?
Yeah, of course.
All right. I named 14 of the 16 all-time RBI leaders.
Yeah, they're great.
That's who I just named was the RBI leaders.
And what's got in common with all of them is probably the Hall of Fame. Besides them being top, 15 in RBIs? What was it, top 16 you read off?
Top six. King Griffey's 16.
Yeah. Well,
He's 3 behind
Not only are
Ted
they top
Williams.
16 in RBIs, they're Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to the Hall of Fame.
But RBIs aren't representative or a good stat.
And listen here, for all of you people that are upset and up in arms thinking, how can this kid be on this show and not know who some of those players
Stan
are?
Musial.
I want you to understand something right
Look.
now. I could probably speak better about anything that's happening today than you can think of it if you had 2 hours to sit there and really talk about it. All right? Because I live in the now.
Stan
all right?
Musial.
Just because I don't know somebody that maybe have played 20, 30 years ago. I mean, like you said, I'm only 23.
He played 60 years ago. So I'll give
Well,
you that.
then there you go.
Well, I didn't play when I was alive,
Well,
Hunter.
then there you go.
You know who Babe Ruth was?
Yes.
That's 100 years ago.
That's great. Absolutely. And I know who Hank Aaron is. Okay, who did Stan Musial play for again? You said he's the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I don't know who the I don't know hardly any Cardinals players. I know a few that were relevant in like my 23 years.
You ever heard of Ozzie Smith?
I know who Ozzie Smith is.
What about the 1985 MVP? Willie McGee.
I know who Willie McGee is.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Terry
you
Pendleton.
don't talk about a guy that played 60 years. Act
Stan
like I go back 60 years
Listen,
for a team that I don't even root for.
I'm just as surprised you didn't know who Stan Musial was if I would have said Babe Ruth and you said who. I'm going to put it that way.
But okay, well, we
Ruth
can-
is like
yeah, but
top
here-
5. Musial is the next 5.
Well, here you can, but then you can always say this: Babe Ruth was a Yankee.
That's
If you don't know as many Yankees, you don't even have to know sports, and you know Yankees just because they're everywhere. Bet you people don't. I bet you a lot of people don't remember who Alex Rodriguez originally played for.
Oh my God! Come on now.
It was Mariners.
Right, for
That's
10
what I'm saying.
years.
That's what I'm saying.
You saying Yankees fans don't even
Exactly.
act like they care?
Yeah. If
I'm
you
glad you
bring
brought
up
him up.
Alex,
And I
if you
said
bring
Pete
up
Rose.
Alex Rodriguez, a lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, he was a Yankee," and you were like, "Well, who were the two other teams that he played for?"
Yeah, people will definitely forget the second one.
Yeah. And they forget that he was a Mariner, and then he went to the Rangers.
So Pete Rose the other day during his interview said that A-Rod was the greatest shortstop of all time.
Well, he did play shortstop.
He played short until
Yankees.
And then he had won more Gold Gloves and rated better as a shortstop than Jeter, and they moved A-Rod to third because they didn't want to hurt Jeter's feelings.
I listened to
Jeter should have been playing third, folks.
I listened to a podcast, and they had Alex Rodriguez on there. This is a fun story for you.
He's just so big.
And Alex Rodriguez talked about how, at first, when he started playing, when he first got drafted out of Miami, it was like after his first season, he thought about hanging it up.
Who did that?
Alex Rodriguez. After his first season with the Mariners, he thought about hanging it up.
Why?
Just because things weren't going his way. Things weren't going his way. He was struggling. He was having slumps. It just, he wasn't coming in he wasn't living up to the expectation at the time. He thought about giving it up, and there was a coach. I can't remember. It was on Pardon My Take they talked to Alex Rodriguez. I'll name drop that. It was on Pardon My Take. And so I was listening to that story, and he was just talking about how, at first he had to do a minor league stint, and, because he was struggling a little bit, and he just thought about giving it up, and it wasn't for him because apparently he was like, I was pretty good at another sport. Maybe I'll go and try it. So, Alex Rodriguez, I give you that. One of the greatest baseball players of all time. I mean,
I had someone ask it on Facebook, Hunter, if you knew that Babe Ruth was not originally a Yankee.
I know, yeah, he was the Boston Red Sox.
What'd you do? Watch a movie one time, and that's how you know who Babe Ruth is?
No.
Did you watch The Babe? That's a good movie, by the way.
No.
With
I know
Goodman?
that.
I think John Goodman.
I know that because they called it like the greatest betrayal of all time, the Bambino going from the Red Sox to Yankees. Now, give me more credit than that, people.
No, I ain't giving you no credit for the.
No, be quiet, you Cardinals fan.
It's Stan Musial.
Be quiet, you Cardinals fan.
I'm just glad you've heard of Hank Aaron, Mr. Bray.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I was about to say something else too.
I mean, I know
that's okay.
Here, if you think that I only know Jackie Robinson because of the movie 42. Not that they have his whole number retired.
Oh gosh, Hunter,
please stop it.
I had another note, and I just started laughing, and I kind of forgot what I was gonna get into the NASCAR rules in a minute. Let's see. As far as so DH, no DH for you in the National League. Not a fan of the DH.
I want DH out of the American League.
I mean, Edgar Martinez is in the Hall of Fame.
I know that gave Big Papi a little bit of an extra career by being able to go into the DH position. But to me, it's like, dude, you just sit there on the bench until you got to go swing. That's it.
They go in the thing is, they go in the tunnel, and they're sitting there. I don't know if people know this or have seen these before. They've got these pitching machines now that you can put the pitcher that you're facing on the screen. Have you ever seen one of these? You ever hit one of these? You've never seen one of these. So you know what a batting you know what a batting cage is, right?
Yes.
Like
I played baseball.
Like you go to the. I'm talking about like where you go and you pay money.
Yeah.
And the machine throws
it to you. Yeah. I did that in Florida.
They've got these now, Hunter, where they do that, and over the netting, the hole is a video screen.
So it's kind of like when you go and hit golf balls, and they've got like the greens in front of you.
But you've got the real pitcher, and they
do it with his throwing.
Yes. So they take yes. I've hit on one of these. I've hit on one before.
Stop.
I tried to hit Randy Johnson. I fouled a couple off. I mean, it was heat. So what they do is, so the ball's in the middle of the screen.
Right.
So the screen has to move because every pitcher has different release points. And stuff. So they got to match it up right. So the DH hitter can go in his dugout
and swing
and just sit there and hit that pitcher. So they can put John Smoltz or whoever on the
whoever
screen
you're facing that night.
Clayton Kershaw, and you can sit in the back there in the
Try
back
and hit his
hitting Kershaw curveballs. These things are sophisticated. They're pretty cool. But that's the DH now, Hunter.
Well,
all right. Real quick.
He does a little bit more than just sit there then.
Well, the greatest player, according to everyone who lives today, of all time, who's Mike Trout, is on pace.
Yeah.
I just read you the RBI list.
right.
I wonder where this RBIs don't mean something comes from, Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Now remember, he's played 9 seasons. If he plays 18 seasons,
Okay.
doubles his career high. Doubles his career.
This is perfect case scenario, too, where he doubles everything.
Doubles everything. Even at 38 years old, he's still hitting what he hits.
Yeah.
This is where he would have 1,500 RBIs. Let me tell you the people who's around him. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Kent,
I know Jeff.
Carlos Delgado,
Ooh.
Vladimir Guerrero,
Yeah. Not Junior.
Mickey Mantle,
Okay.
Dave Parker, Billy Williams, Ed Delaney, Rusty Stab. That's his name. Rusty Stab.
He stabbed me with a spoon.
That's who. Jim Rice, Eddie Matthews, Joe Carter, Jason Giambi.
I like
So
Jason
Trout
Giambi.
is in Giambi range here.
Yeah, but that's not great. That's not greatness.
That's not okay. So he would rank.
That's not greatness. Now
He
we're
would rank
talking
57th all time.
because even
And
prime,
I just named you. I just gave you
Yeah.
15.
even prime
studs.
Jason Giambi at the A's wasn't even considered great,
Mhm.
and then he went to the Yankees and got a couple chips. I mean, but even then, he's not considered great.
He's on pace to have less than Fred McGriff, Carlos Beltran,
Dude, Carlos
Andre
Beltran.
Dawson. Chipper's going to have 150 more than him if he doubles it. Harold Baines got in. He's the same with Chipper. He's got 5 more RBIs than Chipper. Tony Perez, Sammy Sosa ain't got no chance to get in. Gary Sheffield ain't getting in. Is Jim Thome getting in? He's got a ton. Beltran's got 1,700. Realistically, let's say he plays 20 years and you give him the same numbers. That would put him in the 30 range. Not still not top 15 or 20. Still in the 30 range if he does 12 years of the same that he's been doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, some of these stats, this whole war thing that we're into now, where that's the only stat that matters of anything, and people sit there and argue about that online and that's the only stat they'll even use.
Right.
Like it was one argument the other day. It said something about Trout and somebody would be the only people that could get 8 WAR. I have no idea what that means.
Well, no, but what's 8 WAR? They fought 8 times. They threw fisticuffs
Now remember,
8 times.
it's wins above replacement, a fictitious replacement player.
Replacement.
I went and looked him up some point on that on the Trout's winning and losing. He actually has this team has pretty much the same record whether he plays or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's not even. Let's see. All right, here's what in his career they averaged 79 per games a year wins with him on the field.
Mm-hmm.
With him off the field they averaged 75.
Missing nothing.
So you tell me he earned 8 WAR, which is wins above replacement.
Yeah.
But the actual math says you only win 4 games per year. 4 games more this year with you in the lineup. So something in that math is obviously wrong, right?
Now, I mean, I'll say
Because because wins over replacement don't even actually count
I'll
wins.
say this.
It's guessing wins.
When they were coming up between Mike Trout, it was always, who would you much rather have, Mike Trout or Bryce Harper? Between the two, I'm taking Mike Trout.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're asking me, who do I want more? Do I want Mike Trout or maybe Chris Bryant or Bellinger of the Dodgers? I'm taking Chris Bryant or Bellinger over Mike Trout just with the fact as they make contact with the baseball.
Mm-hmm.
They put the ball in play, and it doesn't always have to be the home run. Same with Christian Yelich. Yelich now, he can be a home run machine, but his batting average is fantastic. I know he had some injuries he dealt with this year, but even then, if you had me choose one out of those 4, Mike Trout, Bellinger, maybe Chris Bryant, Yelich, I know 3 of them are in the National League, but I'm taking one of those 3 and not Mike Trout.
Only 3 of his 9 years.
If I'm not mistaken, Yelich
Or 8
plays the
years.
same. Yelich plays even the same position as Mike Trout, doesn't he? Don't they play in the outfield, center fielders?
Maybe. Of his 8 full years, Hunter,
Mm-hmm.
5 of them they've had a losing record with him in the lineup.
Yeah,
They've also ranked in the top 10 every single year in payroll. So you add that up. The
I
stat's weird.
think I read somewhere too that the Angels might be looking to, pay some money for Mookie Betts. Because Betts turned down the Red Sox offering him a 10-year, $300 million deal. He countered with a 12-year, $400-something million deal. So I don't know if the Astros, they've shown they're not afraid to spend some money what they gave Trout. But there's no guarantee that it's going to come in to them being, viable for a playoff spot.
Right.
Mookie Betts might help, but I'll tell you this. It'd be hard for me to say Mike Trout's the best player on that team if Mookie Betts is on that team.
What about Reardon? I don't know them that much. You know them better. You know the new guys better than the...
I know him a little bit.
Obviously better than the older players.
Obviously, I told you. If we want to talk about today's game and what's happening today, I got it. And all you have to do is just watch and make great opinions.
All right,
here's great opinions.
Here's the payrolls.
Never wrong.
All right, here's the payrolls.
Never wrong, just misinformed.
So this year, Trout will be getting paid $37 million.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Pirates payroll is $41 million.
Yeah.
The Pirates won 4 less games than the Angels did last year. Now, people will say, and I wanted to tweet at someone, they said, Trout's worth every penny. Really? Because what I just said. That's the thing about it. He may be worth it at $20 million, but at $37 million?
No.
Are you really worth it? Let's think about this. Let's go. Hunter's an Atlanta Braves fan. Let's pull up the Braves.
I'm just looking right here. I got Mike Trout and Christian Yelich pulled up next to each other. Mike Trout has got 45 home runs to Christian Yelich's 44. Okay. Yelich is batting .329. Mike Trout batted .291. And Mike Trout's got whatever this 8.3 WAR is. The Christian Yelich is 7.1. So, what, 1.2 WAR differential? He got in 1.2 more fights than Christian Yelich did? I don't know.
So, if it's 1.2, Hunter,
yeah,
we play 162 games.
Right.
That's, what is 1 divided by 162? Do you know that off the top of your head?
What is 1 divided by 162?
No. It's .006.
Oh,
that's how many games he won.
I'm looking at this.
He won 0, based on WAR and how wonderful this stat and how almighty this stat is. According to that, Mike Trout helped his team win 0.6 more games than that guy. And that's 6/10 of a game.
Yeah.
That means he helped his team for 5 innings.
And I'm just looking here. Like RBIs, Yelich has got 97. Mike Trout's got 104, okay? And then runs 100 for Yelich. Mike Trout's got 110. They're so close in runs and RBIs. What makes you think Mike Trout is just so much greater than Christian Yelich? Batting average-wise, it's actually absurd how much better Christian Yelich is than Mike Trout. I said Mike Trout was batting .291. Christian Yelich is batting .329.
Mm-hmm.
So, and home run-wise, they say they're swinging for home runs.
Yeah.
Mike Trout's got 45. Christian Yelich has 44. There was one different. And Christian Yelich was injured this season. He had back injury.
Who's 2 best players on the Braves, Hunter?
2 best players on the Braves, Freddie Freeman and Ronald Acuna.
Freeman and Acuna. Okay. So Acuna is making very little money.
Well, he did get paid. Well, if you want to compare it to Mike Trout's making.
He's getting $1 million.
Well, I know. I thought they just locked him up for a 10-year deal, though.
That's adjusted salary. Let's see what that is. Well, this first year is only I'm looking at Albies.
Because they did it early.
I'm looking at Acuna. Yeah, he's got 12. It says luxury tax salary is more, but his regular base salary is just $1 million right now. It says pre-arbitration. Albies and Acuna are both at $1 million. That's up to date, ain't it?
I'm guessing.
All right. This is sorry folks for wondering what I'm looking at. I guess I could pull it up on the screen so you folks. This is sporttrack.com. You can go here and look up all of the I'll pull up our faces in the corner. These are the payrolls for some of the teams. This is the Braves we're looking at. So I'm just going to go. Here's some of the 40-man tax payroll is $157 million. So, Hunter, if you had Trout on the team,
Yeah.
count how many players you could get for $37 million.
And then I don't understand this either. I don't understand this either. We got Freddie Freeman sitting here, all right? Freddie Freeman. Okay, he's only got 38 home runs. The Mike Trout's 45. I don't care. That's still a pretty good amount of home runs to have for 38.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mike Trout only has 110 runs. Freddie Freeman's got 113, so they're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
RBIs. Mike Trout's got 104. Freddie Freeman's got 121 runs batted in. But for some reason, Mike Trout has an 8.3 WAR. His batting average is 291.
It's the walks.
To Freddie Freeman's 295, and Freddie Freeman has got a 4.4 WAR. I don't understand
How
it.
much more walks has he got? I guarantee that's it, because when they do the formula, you look. Any mathematician can look at the formula and be like, well, walks are weighted the same as hits, and that's not the same. I mean, you could have. Oh, I did the math on it. You could have 4 walks in an inning, folks.
So Freddie Freeman had 87 walks this year.
Yeah,
Mike Trout,
120, 130 something probably.
that's 2019 totals.
Yeah, I
Got
got
110 walks.
Yeah. It's all, every time you look at those,
110 walks.
Every time you look and compare the Trout stats to someone else, it's always walks is the differential. And Hunter, here's you some fuzzy math on your
Fuzzy math.
Ready?
I hate math.
So, in a Major League Baseball game or any baseball game with 9 innings, you follow me?
Yeah. Christian Yelich had
You could walk
64 walks.
4 batters an inning.
Yeah.
See, hey, I'm telling you, everything's about the walks and on bases.
Or I'm sorry, no, he had 80 walks this year. This is projection for 20.
All right,
he had
so
80
in 9
walks.
innings per every inning, you can have 4 walks an inning and not score a run.
Yeah,
Do you understand what I mean?
I understand.
So you get
exactly what
bases
mean.
loaded, double play, and then walk another one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, I may be wrong, but I think that's as many as you can walk without scoring a run. So let's say 4, right?
Right.
So 4 times 9 is 36.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So your team
Yeah.
can have 36 base runners.
Yeah.
That's an on base percentage over 100, right? Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were going to continue. I was
All
just
right.
listening.
So that's an on base percentage over 100.
Yes.
Now, if your team gets on base and doesn't score 4 to 36 times,
Mm-hmm.
and my team strikes out 26 times,
Yeah.
but Mark McGwire hits a solo homer and we win,
That's all it takes.
what good is the on base percentage?
That's all it takes.
So a team, let's do the math on it, is 36 divided by 27,
Mm-hmm.
1.33. That's your on base percentage.
Okay.
And so your on base percentage can be 133%,
Mm-hmm.
or your on base percentage could be 3.7% and still win the game. So if you have a win-loss margin of 133 possible percent, you can't tell me that stat is really a good stat on that then.
Yeah.
So that's fine. All right, Hunter, you ready for this? We're going to count the Braves
Yeah.
that
Make up his salary.
his salary, starting
Okay.
at the bottom.
Okay.
So this is all the players. 1, 2, 3.
How much?
4,
What is his salary again? 420 million.
13, 37 million this year.
Oh, you're talking about just
Just this
single-
year- just this
a
year.
single season. Okay.
If the Atlanta Braves wanted to sign Trout,
Yeah.
but had to get rid of $37 million, they would have to get rid of 13 players.
No. Ain't no way.
He's worth 13 players on the. I'm gonna read you everybody's names. Whatever it is.
Okay,
Foltowitz,
Folty screwed us. He lost us that playoff game, so
Fla-
you can take him.
Tyler Flowers, Nick Markakis,
Not
Adam
Markakis.
Duvall,
Not Adam Duvall.
Dansby
He's too
Swanson,
young. Swanson's young and
O'Day,
upcoming.
Luke Jackson. I know y'all don't want him. Camargo, Ronald Acuna, and Albies.
No, that's because they're young and on their
Culberson,
contracts.
Heckavaria, and Grant Dayton.
I'm telling we've
Is Mike Trout?
Whoa, and Max Fried? They don't even have him listed
No,
up
is
there.
Mike Trout worth all of those
No.
people combined?
No, he's not worth Acuna and Albies combined. Hey, no, that's our legit leadoff and second batter.
And as a Cardinals fan, we had to adjust.
now Fulton Elwich maybe.
When Pujols left, it was over $3 million over 10 years, which is $30 million.
Mhm.
His wife said that it was an insult
Nah.
A slap in the face.
Right.
They offered him $300 million instead of $330 million.
Yeah.
He left for the extra $30 million.
Nope.
Like, Hunter. I know $30 million is a lot of money, and the Cardinals fans just felt like he stabbed him in the back over $3 million a year, which maybe they could get him to him under the table or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, the thing with Pujols is, so I'm going to make sure the championships here. 2 times World Series champion. All right. When he left, though, that's $30 million that we could add other players.
Yeah.
And so that's the same thing with Trout, is that do you want Mike Trout or do you want 13 other players for $37 million? I mean, that's a whole starting lineup.
And think about it.
13 players.
Baseball.
That's almost a starting lineup. Well, it is a starting lineup if you, and a
Baseball
pitching staff.
is legit. Is one of the legit games besides football where you have to have more than just a star to win.
I said 13.
Basketball is a little different. You can have maybe 1 or 2 stars that eat up a lot of the cap money, and then you guys can be pretty set when it comes to playoff time. But in baseball and football, when it is a team-driven sport, especially in baseball, where pitching staff is everything.
Pitching's more important.
Pitching is where the money needs to be put, and you give it all. Think about it. I'm looking at this. Fulton Elwich, pitcher. I know we were mad about what's his name for blowing that game. He was a pitcher. Where is he at? Oh yeah. O'Day, he's a pitcher. I'm just looking at how many of those.
I scrolled up.
Yeah, you scrolled up. I'm just looking at how many of these guys.
Luke Jackson.
Yeah, whatever with Luke Jackson. Max Fried, they don't even have him up there, but he was on hardly anything for a contract this year. He was one of our first 3 in rotation. If we would have to give up that many people just to, from a pitching staff to just sign a Walker, that's legit what we signed. We stole a Walker from a 70-year-old man. We got a Walker, okay? That's what we got. He wants to walk up to first.
All right, if you want to do it in reverse, you could trade Cole Hamels and Freddie Freeman.
We just signed Hamels.
Would you trade Hamels and Freeman?
No.
Or
no.
What about Melicone? Why is he getting paid $19 million?
I don't know. But here's the thing.
He's a closer?
So between Cole Hamels and Freddie Freeman, you're asking me to give up a starting pitcher. That's not going to happen. And you're asking me to trade a guy who gets more RBIs by maybe he got 11 more RBIs. That's 11 more. I understand what RBI stands for, ladies and gentlemen. Runs batted in. He batted in 11 more runs than Mike Trout. Why would I trade for him? Why would I trade for him? He even has a better batting average than Mike Trout.
Because the War fans say getting on base is more important than knocking a runner in.
Shut up,
Which
War.
Hunter, if you can't knock you in, getting on base didn't mean anything, right? See,
I'm gonna eat my freaking.
Let me explain. Let me explain this.
Yeah,
so in high school, I had to bat about half the season behind our DH. I'm not gonna argue. I should have been in the 2 spot, but we moved around the stuff so much. But I ended up batting behind our DH for a while, and our DH was a big, giant, slow DH. I could steal bases. I couldn't steal a base if he walked in front of me.
No.
Because his fat butt would be on second if I got on second. And I couldn't steal second then. So that matters as well. Who's in front of you? Who's behind you? This stuff is so silly. And the money is just insane on that. Like I said, Hunter, is he worth that much money? Like, pretty much you could put, let's say, Freddie Freeman, Albies, and Acuna.
Yeah.
So now we're at $24 million. We still got $13 million left. Let's see who else. Who's your next best player?
Wait, for who? Who'd you list so far?
Albies, Ozuna, and Freeman. Yeah, Acuna and Freeman.
Ozuna.
We still got $13 million to spend.
$13 million. Well, Markakis is really good.
Well, now we still got $9 million.
Cole Hamels is good.
Let's skip him. That's a chunk of money.
It is. Oh, okay. Yeah, we just signed Dansby Swanson.
What about NCR?
Swanson is a key piece to our defense as well.
He's Swanson's $3 million. Now we're down to $6 million. There's 5 players.
Okay, you're talking about who we have to trade to
I'm
get
just
Mike
saying
Trout.
We took it. I took out Freeman and Cole Hamels because they were the big numbers. Now I'm looking at stuff in the middle. But I got Freeman. I'm trying to take all your best players.
No.
Let's take all your infield. Let's get who's your catcher? Arnold.
I guess
that's what he's
taking over for McCann.
Arnold's listed there at $8 million. So he's $8 million. First base is $22. Second base, who you got there?
Albies.
Albies is $1 million. Shortstop, Swanson, he's $3 million. third base.
I don't know who's going to be there now.
Camargo's listed. Is that who's going to be there?
It was Josh Donaldson, but Josh Donaldson didn't re-sign, or we didn't re-sign him. So I don't know who's going to be there. I think
Camargo's only third baseman on the roster listed right now.
Well,
let's put him down for now,
ahead.
just for.
Well, whoever's listed, then do that.
I'm gonna put 2 million.
Adam
on him.
Duvall was. They were hoping to do with Duvall what they did with Chipper. Have him in the outfield for a little while and then move him to the infield at third base. Because he was playing infield in the minor leagues. Then they had to play a few outfield games to get him accustomed to where he was going to go play in left field for the Braves.
Ozuna is in left.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got in center?
Center is Cunha.
And right field.
Markakis.
Markakis sitting down here at $4 million. All right, Hunter. Everybody but Acuna.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or Freeman. Okay?
I have to choose.
One of those two
Uh-huh.
you can't keep, but you'd have to get rid of everyone else to pay for Mike Trout.
No way.
That is how much money Trout is getting paid. He's getting paid the whole starting lineup except either Acuna or Freeman. You can keep one and get rid of one,
And here's
but you'd have to get rid of one.
and then bring this into the consideration. Which team made the playoffs?
Your whole infield.
Which team made the playoffs? It was the Braves,
Your whole
not the
infield.
Angels.
Your whole infield, counting the catcher, makes less money than Mike Trout.
And we didn't even bring in pitchers.
The whole infield makes less money than Mike Trout in Atlanta. The outfield only makes $23 million, and that's still less. The outfield makes less, and the infield makes less. That's what I'm saying. You could take of your 8 starters, 7 of them you would have to get rid of to pay for Mike Trout.
Nope.
Not worth it.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I was just wondering. Wondering. All right, folks. There's some fun baseball DH and War Sucks chat for you War fans and you old heads in baseball that agree with me that
switch it.
That batting average, and I guess everybody's getting the looking down at what is it, not vertigo, but there's another name for that where you're looking at all them things. All right,
yeah.
All right,
there we go.
So all right, that's that. Anything else on baseball? Anything new? I want to go over some of these NASCAR rules.
Nothing
and
really
see what you thought about some of these real quick.
Go ahead.
Some of them might not mean nothing. We're gonna.
I mean, I'm not a NASCAR connoisseur, but I'll give input on it.
All right. Some of these won't mean nothing to me or you or anyone else, but we're going to go through them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that one means anything to me. All right, here's a weird one. Organizations have been limited to a total number of 150 hours of wind tunnel testing. Previously, there was no limit. And so the higher and more expensive teams will do well and spend more time in the wind tunnel. Here's my question. Why don't they just say no wind tunnels?
Yeah.
Then you don't know.
Everything's computerized anyway.
Then you don't know what you got till you're at the track.
And you have to do it the day before.
On the track. Wouldn't that fair up things a little bit more, make the crew chiefs do a little bit more? I mean, if we're all sitting there wind tunneling, you know, one thing's got to be fair. Either all the teams can afford 150 hours or none of them can. You know what I mean? Like, like 150 hours.
Well, here's the thing. So is the wind tunnel someplace that they have to go and use, or do the teams have it at their facilities? Because what I was going to say is, okay,
there's only 4 approved wind tunnel facilities.
Okay, so they have to go to the wind tunnel
There's
facilities.
one in Mooresville, which everybody probably goes to.
Most of the
There's 2 in Mooresville, actually. Penske has one.
Oh.
Aridon Wind Tunnel and Windshear Wind Tunnels in Concord. So 3 of them here.
So Penske has their own wind tunnel.
Right. 2 of them are Mooresville. One of them's in Concord, and then there's one in Indianapolis. So those are the approved ones that they can go to if they want to.
3 of them in North Carolina and 1 of them in Indiana. Wow. Here's the thing. I can agree with you saying that they should then allocate time for every team if they want to keep it balanced. I can also agree with you got to do it the day before the race when you're out there doing time trials. When you're out there doing test times on the track. If not, then NASCAR should fund putting everybody a wind tunnel in.
That's a good point too.
They should fund it. NASCAR, you're sitting there on billions of dollars.
I like my no wind tunnel idea.
No wind tunnel. That's
none.
Fun. Look,
I want them to. You got.
That's fine.
You don't have to know. You don't have to know what a wind tunnel does.
That's fine if you don't want to go. If you don't want to go do a wind tunnel, they have little sensors that they use on it anyway.
I see NASCAR
driving.
I see NASCAR doing it for safety reasons because the car's flipping and stuff. That's fine.
Right.
But the teams doing it, I'm kind of skeptical about that altogether. All right, this is a weird one. I don't know how this maybe someone in NASCAR could agree or disagree with this more. They fired 70 people basically, and reduced team members from 12 to 10 during race weekends. So I don't know how that affects everybody.
Wow.
Previously, 3 or 4 car teams were allowed to carry a 4th roster member. Different rules for different teams. I think NASCAR, one of their biggest problems maybe is I think they should restrict it to maybe 2 teams, 2 cars per team. But also, Hunter, like they've got to find a way to do it somehow where they share the revenue better.
Because no sense in people getting fired.
Right, and there's
losing their job.
Right, and there's no sense in drivers like Carl Edwards or Jimmy or someone having to struggle for sponsors when there should be some type of setup. Like they could lower their prices, quit paying for the wind tunnels, right? I don't know. I think they got to figure out something with that. I don't know. I don't have an answer or a suggestion at all. But they need to figure out some type of sharing. I know in lower levels of racing, you're supposed to be on your own, but once you get to this level and you're team racing and everything together, and it's for the good of the sport, it's a little bit different. I think they need to figure out something. And then there was another one I kind of want to get to. They're talking about, instead of going 3 segments, 4 segments. NASCAR fans aren't too happy about that, but that's not going to be this year. Something maybe for in the future. So looking at maybe a DH in 2 years. And more segments maybe next year. They're talking about anything they want to test, segment-wise stuff. They're talking about the All-Star race, maybe doing some stuff there.
I think it's a good place to do it.
Right.
It's because it's just,
it's not a real race.
It's not affecting the standings at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I think they're going to try some stuff this year. They tried something in the Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They tried something in the Pro Bowl, going from like the 15-yard line on a play. Instead of, I think, doing the point after.
Right.
I think that's what they did. So, no, I agree.
XFL slash
those
intramural football style.
Yeah, those are good opportunities because it's win-loss. If it doesn't work, you're not out anything. Just the team didn't win the Pro Bowl. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. They still made their couple millions of dollars for making the Pro Bowl to begin with. So everybody's out there just not to get hurt.
All right, Hunter, let's move over to Super Bowl real quick.
Yeah.
Not going to do a predictions today. We can do that
Friday.
And of course, Saturday morning. Quick numbers. A lot of people, thinking about the Chiefs this year. I'm going to go through some fun numbers. Mm-hmm. People say Jimmy Garoppolo might be a game manager. 84 quarterback QBR in the fourth quarter. And game within one possession this year, he was the best in the NFL. 115 pass rating when his team was trailing, the best in the NFL.
I've seen this tweet. I agree with it.
60% completion on throws of 15 yards or more, best in the NFL. 154 pass rating outside the pocket, that's almost perfect. Perfect's 158.3. So, Hunter, I guess that everybody's looking at that last game. When he didn't throw for 100 yards and still won, but they didn't really need to, apparently.
They ran for 400 yards on the ground. What? If it ain't broke, don't fix it,
Teams with more than 55 sacks entering the Super Bowl in the last 15 years all won the Super Bowl.
49ers.
Steelers. The Steelers, 05 Steelers, 08 Steelers, 07 Giants, 10 Packers, 11 Giants. 15 Broncos, and 19 49ers this year have more than 55 sacks. So there's your 2 competing stat lines. Got a couple more here if I get through them. Patrick Mahomes has made 35 starts for the Chiefs in his career. He's lost 8 times. Never by more than 7 points.
Animal. Fun fact for you. Only 3 quarterbacks in their first 3 seasons have won an MVP and made a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is now one of them. The other 2, Dan Marino and Kurt Warner.
Kurt, I guess that does count, don't
it? Yeah.
He was like 30 when it happened.
Yeah, but hey, first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
First 3 seasons, winning the MVP and making a Super Bowl within the first 3 seasons.
Not bad. So going into this game, I usually almost always pick the best defense.
Right.
These teams are ranked 6th and 7th, giving up 19-2 and 19-3 points a game. So I really don't have a choice on defense really on that unless I want to go with my 0.1.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look at any and all the other all weird stats. Like Garoppolo's been awesome.
Patrick Mahomes has been just as
Patrick
awesome.
Mahomes has been awesome. I mean, just
Who's got more weapons, but who's got the better run game? I mean,
so
they contradict themselves when it comes to that.
right.
The better perimeter, quote unquote, skill players is with Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
But the unstoppable run game, no matter who they put behind the offensive
Right.
line, is the 49ers.
Right. And so if the defenses are the same, you almost always choose the run game. Defense is the same, quarterback's kind of the same. Is it going to be the run game? Who controls the clock the most?
That up. Then you bring that up is the quarterbacks really aren't the same. Because I'm taking Patrick Mahomes over Jimmy Garoppolo.
I agree he's better, but I'm not saying Garoppolo's bad. That's the thing.
I'm not saying he's bad. I think a lot of people, they are in the, what is the term? It's revisionist.
Mm-hmm.
They always look back at what just recently happened.
Brad Johnson beat the MVP Rich Gannon in the Super Bowl.
So that's what I mean. He's like,
Brad Johnson. So I don't think it. Eli beat Peyton twice, not once. It wasn't a one-time upset like maybe Brad Johnson over Rich Gannon, and Brad had help because his coach just came from there. But the thing about it is, a lot of times it don't even matter who the best quarterback is. Brett Favre's only championship, he didn't win MVP. The kick returner won MVP. How bad you got to play at quarterback for the kick returner to get an MVP? Now we don't even have kickoffs, Hunter.
yeah.
And Brett Favre was the MVP. Peyton Manning won MVP. He outplayed the great Rex Grossman. So, like, Trent Dilfer, they beat the Giants, which had former Carolina Panther Kerry Collins on the team.
I talked to Trent Dilfer. Fun fact for all of you people.
You did talk to Trent Dilfer.
Nice man.
I'm into on this is the quarterbacks don't matter as much in this game as everyone wants to think, and that'll hurt the Brady fans on that.
Nope, I used revisionist wrong.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
I heard a lot of people using it when speaking about Patrick Mahomes this week and how they were talking about, he was going to be they knew he was going to be the greatest thing ever coming out of Texas Tech. That's at least what the GM or whoever it was that scouted Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs said. He said, I saw him and knew he was going to be one of the greatest players of all time. And I was like, dude, there ain't no way. He didn't even win anything in the Big 12. He led his junior year, if I'm not mistaken, or it was his final year at Texas Tech. He led the nation in passing yards. But other than that, like, he didn't win. He didn't beat Baker Mayfield.
Some people
he wasn't in Heisman voting at all.
You know what some people in this room would say if I about Patty Mahomes is that he wasn't good enough to play quarterback at North Carolina. Isn't that what they would say?
Well,
because that coach wouldn't pick him or that coach wouldn't recruit him. That means he's not.
Technically. I mean, it's just.
Was that Texas? How do you end up Texas Tech instead of Texas?
Revisionist. It was like challenging the orthodox, like acceptable or traditional. Kind of like when people talk about, they knew Lamar Jackson was going to be great. No, he didn't. Because he was different. I mean, he wasn't a pocket passer. He was a mobile quarterback. He always ran around. So
what's up?
That's not what I thought it was going to be. But
come join us, sir.
So what I meant by that is they're so quick to remember what just recently happened when I was speaking on Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't look at his full body of work on the season. They're quick to just stick on what he just did. What have you done for me lately? That's what it was. He went out there and only threw for 88 yards. Yeah, it's what have you done for me lately? That's all he did. No, he had a fantastic season at the quarterback position. Not just, he's only thrown for 88 yards while the running backs ran for 400. No, he's had a great season. Let's not get it twisted. But between the two, I'll still take Patrick Mahomes.
So I want to welcome Cousin Zach made it in. Had to go somewhere earlier. Zach, I don't know if you heard us talking about you or not.
I have not.
Right.
Go visit at Mercy Hospital in Charlotte, so I did make it back.
I'll pull him up the Zach on the video here in just a second for you folks at home, trying to get my shots together. But so Zach, what you've missed today is Hunter bashing NC State for 10-15 minutes to start the show.
I'm not gonna lie, I loved every minute of it.
A little Coach K acting like a fool Did you see that?
I did see that, and I was trying to gauge all that to figure out. I didn't quite understand what they were chanting at a Capel, and then to turn around, that
Right.
shows you they must not ever know he played for Duke.
Well, they were
Played for Duke, coached for Duke.
Yeah, he coached
Right,
there,
right. As
too.
an assistant for years.
They were telling him to sit down, basically, or whatever.
With them,
Right.
I wanna
Come sit
think-
with us.
Right.
And so that
Wow.
was that. He got up and yelled at him and whatever, but saying
Old butt hurt.
one of his
Coach
one of his
K.
comments was that can't we just chant like defense or something? Like is that after 30-some years, Zach,
That's all he's got.
of yelling whatever they want to as the Tar Heel players. Now Jeff Capel's over here. We can't yell defense.
They must have been. They must
post-game
have
comment.
been, they must have been getting destroyed by Duke,
Probably. You're probably right.
and so
Nah, they were winning. They were winning when,
I
when they
wish.
did. Yeah, they. We wish they were getting
and
destroyed
you
on.
said that you were talking about that, and what else?
Let's see. We talked about K. We talked about
Baseball rules that went into Mike Trout.
talk about maybe DH. Will be coming in 2 years. And we went over a few random NASCAR rules. But other than that, I got a 3 somewhere.
Other
Where's
than
it
that,
at?
we just now started to do
There he is.
NFL preview for
Yeah,
the
we're about
Super
to talk
Bowl.
Super Bowl. We were complaining, or I was trying to make the point about how the quarterbacks don't really matter that much because we've had Brad Johnson beat MVP Rich Gannon, Trent Dilfer beat Kerry Collins, and everybody knows Kerry Collins can throw better than him. Eli beat Tom Brady twice. Peyton Manning's got 1 MVP, not 2. Eli has more MVPs, Super Bowl MVPs, than Peyton. And Brett Favre's only Super Bowl win, Zach, the kick returner was the MVP,
Desmond Howard.
not the quarterback. How bad you got to think about who's in that game too. Bledsoe was in that game. You got Favre and Bledsoe out here slinging around, and the kick returner was the MVP of the football game. How about Dallas Cowboys' 3rd Super Bowl win in the 90s? You remember who the MVP was?
It was Darren Woodson.
No, move your mic a little bit closer.
Was it
Larry Brown.
Okay, I knew it was. I was thinking a DB.
He one pickoff was
Yeah.
pretty legit. The other was thrown straight into his stomach. You know who Larry Brown was, Hunter? He was our nickel corner.
Yeah.
It was Dion on one corner, which they didn't even throw to his side. Kevin Smith on the other corner, which was a shutdown corner in itself before Dion even got there. So when Dion come there, there was no passes getting complete.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Brown was the slot,
Yep.
the nickel corner against the Steelers, and they were avoiding Dion, threw 2 straight to him.
Right.
Now Dion should probably get half that MVP, shouldn't he?
Right.
Because they didn't even throw to his side. But my point when we was going to this, talking about the Jimmy G thing and Mahomes, and everybody wants to concentrate and talk about the quarterbacks, I almost don't think that that's going to be the key to the victory. I think it's going to be the run game. Both teams are averaging 19.2 in defense given up, so I can't pick a better defense. Do you go with the better quarterback, which is everyone to say Mahomes? Garoppolo's been pretty good. Or do you lean on the run game? And right now I'm leaning towards the run game for San Francisco in this game. How do you think or feel about that as well?
I've been thinking San Francisco. I personally think they'll win the game, and I think it's because of their defensive front.
Yeah?
That's my opinion, because I think they have the ability to put enough pressure on Mahomes. They got enough speed to keep him.
So do you think a defensive player will win MVP if it's for the 49ers?
I think it's a good possibility.
What about – all right, so this is another key thing, Hunter, I've been looking at, and I think may play a key in this game.
I'm listening. Continue.
I know you got to eat Chinese lunch.
Just a little bit. It's going to get a little
Yeah,
cold.
you don't want Chinese food to get cold.
No.
So what crap, what did I say before you said you're listening? I was on a-
You're talking
I
about
was
the
on a total
49ers. You're talking about the 49ers?
Gosh.
Oh, God. I got him off.
You did. You just said something with
We were
Chinese
talking,
food.
He,
or-
he was just mentioning it. Do I?
Oh,
think
yeah,
it'll be
I got you. Here's what's going to be the difference that I'm reading right now on some of this stuff is that San Francisco plays zone defense.
Yeah.
All right, Belichick, when he likes to play zone.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is when and I don't know why they started using this term. I don't. It's just the freaking option.
Right.
Run pass option.
RPO. Yeah.
If you've ever run the option in your life, a pass is part of the option. Just
Right.
because the coach don't want you to throw it, like Georgia Southern, they run the option every play.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, there's a receiver in there doing something supposed to be every play. Whether or not they ever throw it is something different. But anyway, RPOs. What they were saying was that the 4 games that they struggled this year, it was Wilson and Breeze, But the other 2 games they struggled, both games were against Kyler Murray running the RPOs. They're saying Belichick, what he had a problem with the Eagles was that they were sitting in their zone defense. They started running the option. The RPOs, the option with that in the NFL right now, the way that I was explained, is that they're designed to get you out of the zone defense and have to play man-to-man. And that's why Kansas City will have an advantage if they can force San Francisco out of their cover 3 defense. And kind of what you were talking about, they've got to put pressure with those four men up front.
But Kansas City's worst games they played this year was against man-to-man defense.
Well, that's what they're saying, is that they'd be better against them because of all the speed. So
I don't know.
that's what I said. We keep coming up with. I can't come up with a reason to pick in either team yet. Do you trust Shanahan? He was part of a 28-3 blown lead. I mean, he could have easily been over there saying, "Hey guys, take a knee here. Let's waste 40 seconds,
right?"
Instead of throwing a stupid pass. How much time did they waste in that Super Bowl? They went overtime, right?
What?
Against the Falcons.
They went overtime against
They went in overtime.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Think about it. If they would have just taken one more knee in that game, instead of throwing an incomplete pass in the second half, that's 40 seconds and you don't go to overtime. So a lot of different. Jason Garrett lost 3 games the year the Giants won their last Super Bowl. When we looked it up, Zach, and did the timing on it, in the second half, if they would have just done nothing but 3 knees and punt, they'd have won the game. He lost 3 games that way. These coaches and I say all the time, Hunter.
Yeah.
These coaches need a 12-year-old Madden player.
Yeah.
On the
For clock
sideline
management.
for clock management.
Clock management.
You
And
look
that's one thing that Andy
Clock
Reid has
management.
struggled with in his career. Everybody says Andy Reid just doesn't know how to read a
That's
clock.
almost the most important thing for a head coach.
And then you look at the new style that they run. Everybody's wanting to just continue to pass, score, and they don't know how to manage the clock with the run game. Right. And that hurts them too.
There are some teams to where they
Well, that's the Kansas City thing. They're
Yeah.
having problems running the clock out because they
Because
can't
they
run
don't.
it, so they're throwing a lot of swing passes and a lot of checkdowns.
There are some
as
teams
part of their
too,
run games at the
some
end of the
teams too where they have a quote unquote coach designated to clock management. He'll be walking right next to right next to Andy Reid or right next to Kyle Shanahan, and his job, one, is to make sure he doesn't get on the field when he's not supposed to get on the field, and 2 is clock management. Needs to know when the clock is, needs to tell him if we're running out of time, because they're not paying attention. The head coach has got a million other things he's probably got on his mind besides what is that clock doing.
Zach, I'm gonna get to the Braves question since you're a Braves man. Jumped in a minute ago. We counted up real quick on your thought. We'll get to that in a little bit. Zach's looking at her screen. I was counting how many Braves players you could have for Mike Trout's salary. You don't want to know.
Too many.
It's
too many.
All right, looking at Holmes.
Decimates the Braves.
Looking at Holmes and Garoppolo here.
My homeboy. Oh, my homeboy.
So, Mahomes threw 8 more passes. Now, we know he missed a couple of games, but that's not the point. The point is these numbers are going to be pretty close because he threw 8 passes. 8 more passes. Try my best to highlight at least one of them. So, in 8 more passes, Mahomes had 53 yards more. Mahomes averaged 8.3, Garoppolo 8.4 yards per pass. Long 75 for Garoppolo, Mahomes at 83 touchdowns.
83.
Touchdowns and interceptions, 27-13 for Garoppolo.
He turns the ball over.
26-5 for Patrick Mahomes. So there may be something you look at, Hunter, might be the key, is the Garoppolo turnover factor, and is that why maybe Shanahan was not allowing him to throw it last week? 13 picks, there's only 16 games in the season, so that's 1 a game about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jameis over here throwing 2 a game like the rest of the league, but still. 13 is double-digit interceptions. I mean, there's about 10 to 15. About half the league has double digits. There's only a few that don't. Russell Wilson didn't. Brady didn't. Derek Carr. Carson Wentz. No, I was reading that wrong. Yeah, I was reading that wrong. Carson Wentz, Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers don't throw picks. Cousins don't really throw picks. There's your boy
Jackson.
Gardner Minshew. Lamar. And Lamar don't. And that's the same thing with Cam. Look at Josh Allen, 9-2. There's a point where you're so inaccurate, you don't throw picks.
It just
You see what I mean?
It's away from everybody.
Zach, Cam, when he misses, where does he miss?
High.
How many safeties stand 10 yards behind the receivers waiting on the ball?
Right.
So a lot of the guys with low completion percentage, you're like, well, they don't throw that many picks. Yeah, because they're nowhere near them.
Right.
And some of the guys that do throw a lot of picks, so like Brett Favre, he would try to squeeze it into places, and then some of these guys won't. I think Jameson's got a lot of that. Jameson's biggest thing watching him is he holds the ball entirely too long.
I don't think Jameis can see well. Dude,
That's
I'm
what Hunter
serious.
says.
I say it every time. Every time they show him on the sidelines, he is looking at the scoreboard like this.
Does he squint at the scoreboard?
He squints.
I have to.
I'm telling you, I don't think he sees past the middle linebacker. I don't think he does.
I think his windup also hurts him overall. It gives
allows the defenders to break on it.
Exactly.
Because you see the arm
Yep.
moving more.
That's what I think. I think they have. You talk about
He's got a baseball windup.
instant second, time lapse.
He's a baseball player.
You know, he was a
Wasn't he a
baseball
pitcher?
player. Yeah. Well,
Was he an
I
outfielder?
thought it was the outfielder.
Talk about time lapse and that, and these guys are professionals. They
'Cause he played
they
at
get a
Florida
half
State.
a second.
Mm-hmm.
They can make a play
yeah.
on a ball. Then if somebody's just coming out, boom, 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 gone.
Right.
And then he winds up.
Well,
So
a lot
I
of
think-
DBs, especially if you know you got one that throws picks, you'll bait/deke the quarterback into where and just playing DB myself, you can't stop every pass. You can't stop every play. So what you do is based on where the receiver lines up and what the quarterback does, you sit there and line up and say, all right, I'm going to take this, this, and this away. If he throws this, I just got to make the tackle because you can't take everything away. So what I'm thinking, just as a DB, if I'm playing against Jameis, I was pulling that up just for Hunter. If I'm playing DB against a quarterback that throws a lot of picks, what I would do, Zach, is that I run on his back hip instead of because I don't want the quarterback to know he's covered. You understand what I mean? Like, I want the quarterback to think he's open. I'll run on his back hip, and then when he throws it, I can cut under. If he throws a great pass, I'm beat. Fine, whatever. But against a quarterback that throws picks, I'm sitting on that back hip. Throw it. I'm gonna make a break on it and see if something happens. Hunter talking about Jameis can't see. I just pulled that up online. Let me pull it up for you folks online so y'all can see. There you go. Here's a Jameis can't. When you might not be able to see the article is Jameis still squinting, having trouble with his vision. This is in 2019. So Hunter, you might be onto something with this. Talking about reading defenses and stuff.
I was hearing rumors, and just people were speculating it. And the more you watched, and the more they would do little cutaways on Jameis, he always is squinting.
All right, it says he needs contact lenses, but don't like wearing them.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Imagine if he had contacts. He already threw for 30 touchdowns. Imagine.
I'd put that in his contract as an incentive. You get $500,000 more if you wear your contacts every game.
If
Listen,
he doesn't
guys.
want to wear contacts, put the goggles on, man. Wear the glasses.
You can put rec specs on.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll be made fun of forever for that. But
Not if
he
he
can
who
aff-
cares if you win championships.
he can afford LASIK surgery.
Or the
He can afford
He can
LASIK.
easily afford LASIK
I
surgery.
just wear the rec specs and get the advertising off of it.
That's a good idea. Get a contract off of it on the rec specs. That's a great idea, Zach. Get the sponsorships.
You look
from.
at Kareem, what he was out there, even
He
with,
didn't have a sponsor, did he?
No, I mean all them years. I mean, how much
Eric Dickerson.
he could have had?
That's what Antonio
brand
Brown.
pictures.
Antonio Brown tried to do that with a helmet. He got a helmet sponsorship during all the helmet scandal he had going on. He got a helmet sponsorship.
Dickerson looked like he was skiing out there with his on, with that helmet on too, because the skiers will have the goggles on over your helmets.
I'll say this. We're speaking on accuracy and quarterbacks. Is this the end of the Saints dynasty? Possibly with Drew Brees taking a month to mull retirement options.
There are some very weird things with that. I'm starting to get worried. I really am.
And I'm sitting here and I'm saying, look, because they gave him one of the final snaps in the Pro Bowl to Drew Brees. Sean Payton come out and said that he is not opposed to Taysom Hill being the successor to Drew Brees. And then Alvin Kamara came out and said he's giving Drew Brees as much space as he needs to mull over
to think about
retirement. This is a story that people were kind of talking about just as he started to get age, but now it has become a whole lot more serious with Drew Brees coming out and saying he's going to take a month to think about it.
The way I'm seeing that and the way he's acting, the way they're acting, and this is
You
what
think it's done?
I think. No, I think he's thinking about it. Obviously, he said he's thinking about it.
Right.
two things. When you're thinking about it, you're already done.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I think this is more about his children than it is about his ability to play football. Obviously, he can play some football. They've lost 3 years in a row. I can only say the way they've lost, he has to want to come back. Obviously, I think that's the deal.
Yeah.
My thing is that I'm starting to think Hunter is he loves his kids. He takes them everywhere. He led the league in 74% completion. I mean, folks, he's 39,
He's
38,
accurate.
39 years
And
old.
he's-
That is amazing.
No, I think
and
he's 40.
He can't see over his line.
I think,
you
no,
know
I
what
think
I'm
he's
saying?
40.
Yeah.
I think he's 40.
I mean, that's amazing.
They say he is
74%.
The height that he is, if you watch him play and he goes back in his step, if you watch him, watch his neck.
Yeah.
He always has to angle his
He
neck.
gets up
so
on
he can see-
tiptoes.
yeah, right, so he can see over those guys. So it's amazing he's got that. And if Hunter might be too young for this, I don't know. It'd be the year that he left San Diego and went to New Orleans. I would say 2003 possibly. Y'all remember when all that came out? Dante Culpepper was the big.
Yes, Saban. That was Saban.
You're right.
He
Saban
chose
with the
Culpepper over
Miami.
Drew
You're
Brees.
Right. And but in his
Saban
defense,
with the Dolphins.
in his defense, well, both of them were hurt, I believe. I think Culpepper had a knee,
They didn't know if Drew Brees could come off of this injury.
he really. If you look
Because
at
of the
the
surgery.
video of what Drew Brees when he was tackled, I believe it was almost in the end zone. They were backed up. His shoulder was just destroyed.
The worst thing with the quarterbacks and the hits over the years, it's not that them getting blown up from behind and fumbling. I think that's okay.
It's getting landed on.
It's the landing on the shoulders. Romo got hurt that way twice. Tons of quarterbacks have got hurt when
Aaron
they fall.
Rodgers.
When they fall on their shoulders, 300 pounds on your chest and shoulders. That's the biggest thing. These quarterbacks can either be
Collarbone injuries.
These quarterbacks can either be blown up and knocked straight down on the ground,
Yeah.
or wrapped up and tackled like a regular tackle.
Because that's what we've seen with Aaron Rodgers and with Tony Romo. A lot of time was a collarbone.
Well, Thomas Davis did Tony Romo wrong. You folks can go watch that all you want to. That was 100% on his shoulder, and he picked him up and put him on his shoulder. So Thomas Davis is going down in the dirty book for me as always will.
TD.
I mean, that was a ridiculous play. So that concerns me. And then you're talking about the thing with the Panthers. If Cam was coming back and going to be their quarterback, they would have already said that.
Yeah.
Would they have not already said,
he's
Cam's
not
my
coming
quarterback. He's coming back. The coach would be in like
Yeah.
1,000 Instagram posts with Cam
And this
Newton.
is what I'm thinking, though, as well. So Sean Payton came out and said that he's not opposed to having Taysom Hill becoming a successor. Well, does that mean Teddy Bridgewater's fair game?
Obviously.
As of right now, that Teddy Bridgewater,
He's a
if
free
a
agent.
team wants to come after him, the Saints are probably not going to re-sign him. I mean, he just went 5-0 for you.
Right. I mean, I think so too, Hunter. I mean, I agree. I don't know what
That's-
they're going.
I think
This may be the most interesting quarterback offseason
It's going to be because
in the history of the NFL.
you got the draft too.
Well, and the Chargers officially came out and said that Phillip Rivers is no longer with the organization.
Well, he moved, so we knew that was definitely going to happen.
We knew that was going to happen, but now the Chargers have come out and made it official. So the first domino has officially fallen. The Chargers don't have a quarterback.
I'd like to see him land in Tampa Bay. I know we talked with Andre about that before, but I like to see him land in Tampa Bay. I think
If
that'd be
he
really
even
good for
wants
them.
to play, think about it.
He does. He's already said he's playing.
He's playing.
He
He said
said
he's playing.
he was playing.
Okay.
He said it might not be in San Diego, but I'm
And
gonna play
Miami needs a
next year.
quarterback, but Miami.
Miami likes Tua.
That's
From what I've
yeah.
seen, they like Tua.
But you
So
could
if they
still
can get
bring
him at
Phillip
5.
Rivers in and then let Tua heal up. You see what? I mean, you could do both.
Rivers is going to be. See, all these quarterbacks have their own specifics, and then you got to figure out which teams are going to match up with them. To me, honestly, Rivers will be great in Tennessee. You got to look at teams that immediately could win. Miami don't want nothing to do with it. They got a fifth.
If you're
yeah.
Tom or Phillip,
Yeah.
even Drew, if you didn't want to play for the Saints, you want.
Hey.
It got to be win now.
Phillip Rivers in Indianapolis.
Why not?
I think the Tennessee
Phillip
spot
Rivers
would be
in
really, really good.
Indianapolis.
You think the Tennessee spot would be nice?
Really
Yeah.
good.
They got the run game. He doesn't have to throw it 30
They got
times.
good
a
If
game.
wide
I'm Rivers, I
receivers.
look at
A.J.
Indy.
Brown is a
If I'm
stud.
Rivers, I look at Indy, Tennessee, and Tampa. All of them offer chances to probably have a chance of winning now. I wouldn't think about Miami unless nobody else will give you a job, and it's not looking like that's going to be the case.
Because he doesn't want to go down there as a retirement
Right,
plan. He wants
right.
to win.
Well, Miami hasn't replaced Dan Marino. They don't be messing around signing 35-year-old quarterbacks. They got to get it right at some point. They need to draft quarterback almost every round. Dallas found one in the 4th. Take one in the first 4 rounds, each round. Make them play each other. We talked about, Zach, Dallas drafted Steve Walsh and Troy Aikman back-to-back years.
They did.
Those
Steve Walsh was supposed
picks.
to be better, I was relieved, than Troy Aikman was. And was Steve Walsh Jimmy Johnson's guy?
Yeah.
He was. I thought he was.
So
Russell
Aikman
Wilson and Kirk Cousins both started in the Pro Bowl this year for the NFC. Both were 3rd and 4th round draft
Bringing
picks.
that up, Kirk Cousins was drafted with RG3.
RG3. They
Same
drafted them
draft.
both
Same draft.
in the middle.
Washington.
Both of them's in the league, and neither one of them's in Washington. What y'all doing?
And both of them, fun fact, both of them were in the playoffs. RG3 was the backup in Baltimore, and Kirk Cousins was with the Vikings. Guess what? Kirk Cousins won a playoff game, too. He won a playoff game.
Yeah. He did.
Thanks, Washington. The NFC Championship matchup was against LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan. Guess what? They were both in Washington's building.
Here's the
Thanks, Washington.
All right, so I forgot to add this weekend's game. So Garoppolo won one, and Mahomes got him another. All right. So, Zach, here's the quarterback wins.
I think Mahomes is what, 3?
4.
4?
Here's quarterback wins since Garoppolo's got 2, right? Or just 1? Yeah, he's got 2. He won 2 this year. So he's got to have 2. That's right. Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
add them
it.
yet. Quarterback wins since Cam last won a playoff game. That means beating, was it the Eagles or the Seahawks to make it to the Super Bowl? So the following week, someone else won the game, right? That's Peyton Manning. Here's all the quarterbacks and how many playoff wins they've won since Cam his last win. Cousins, 1. Garoppolo, 2. Tannehill, 2. Watson, 1. Mahomes, 4. Wilson, 2. Rivers, 1. Dak, 1. Luck, 1. Keenum, 1. Peyton, 1. Osweiler, 1. Mariota, 1. Goff, 2. Breeze, 2. Bortles, 2. Rodgers, 3. Roethlisberger, 2. Matt Ryan, 3. Nick Foles, 4. And Tom Brady, 8. That's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 quarterbacks have won a playoff game since Cam Newton last won one, including multiples, again, 4 from Nick Foles, who's got more than Cam ever has. Bortles has won 2.
He's a really good team that year.
Tannehill's won 2. Garoppolo, of course, won 2.
Nick Foles won a championship.
It's going to be an interesting year in football.
I mean,
the quarterbacks moving
I
around.
think that's what makes this offseason so interesting. Because, most offseasons, you're just like, okay, get to the draft. And when the draft is done, just get me to OTAs and spring training.
What if Cam goes to Tennessee?
That would be wonderful for
I don't
him.
think
I
that'd be
think
a
that's
bad-
his best move. I really think that's
because
his
You got
best
that
move.
big guy in the back, and him too. I mean,
He can run the option.
Remember how good they were together with the running game that he had?
I wouldn't be surprised to
Look,
see
if-
Cam in Tampa.
If Cam,
He's from Atlanta,
I hope so.
but he's from Atlanta, and he's got those big receivers. That would be perfect. That's what he needs.
and here's
He
the
needs
thing,
help. And
I don't.
Tennessee's got big receivers too.
I don't want
They
to
do.
come across as a Cam hater. Because it's not that I hate him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things where, I think me and Kevin are in the same boat. And obviously,
same thing
and
with-
you're one of the
it's the
things
same
with
thing
the
with Trout.
Panthers. And
I'm
you're
gonna
one of the
say
things
the
with Panthers.
facts.
It's just opening up people's eyes and saying, look, he just might not be the greatest thing since sliced bread like you think he is. But here's the thing. If he goes to another team and has success, it's just because they found the way to use him. And it's not that I think, he didn't have success in Carolina. He had a little bit. And, yeah, sure, he won an MVP, but he's not been the same since. He's not. And as an organization, you have to look at it with your eyes wide open and saying, well, do we want to go 8-8 or lower every year? Or can we go out here, make some moves, and build
Well,
up?
Tevin
without
already
him?
said he wasn't going to be mediocre. Is what Tevin said.
I mean, and he's not afraid to spend money. I mean, look, now you possibility of Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers being on the market. Well, Phillip Rivers is officially on the market.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater's on the market. If you don't want to rebuild with a new quarterback out of the draft, why would you not take Teddy Bridgewater? He's the only one out of the free agents who's really got a track record if your name isn't Andy Dalton.
What got? That donuts. Where'd you get that from? I was about to say, you can't eat those. So I know those are probably for sale,
I'm good.
$1 a piece.
I had Japanese before I got here.
I don't know. You can join us if you want. We were just talking about where your quarterback was going to be, who your quarterback is going to be this year.
Cam Newton.
Cam or Phillip Rivers?
He said Nick.
Who's going to be there?
He said Jameis. You know why? Because Jameis
Hey,
balling.
Andre,
He balling.
Jameis is refusing to wear his contacts. Hunter's been saying that for months, and we just found out on the internet he doesn't wear his contacts. There you go. $30 million, put your contacts in. That's what I would tell him, wouldn't you? Tell you what, I'll give you $25 million a year. You put your contacts in right now.
Right now.
In this meeting.
And we'll,
Right
we'll
now.
call and get him
I understand a little like middle schooler learning to put them in for the first time, but come on, champ. Come on. You're like 25. Let's do this.
we can get him a thing at Lens Crafters or something.
Listen, I had LASIK. I wore contacts in high school during sports. It was a huge...
I still wear contacts.
It was a huge
Improvement.
difference
On the field.
on hitting wise in baseball. Football, I didn't really need it that much, I don't think. But like just the fact of just seeing 20/20 and not seeing 20, folks, is people that wear glasses, they know it's just a big thing. And then I had LASIK when I was 21. That's when they recommend it. Is wait until that's when your eyes are fully developed. So it didn't help. The LASIK didn't help me out
No, well, mine
in
are
high
screwed.
school, obviously. Yeah,
Mine are screwed. I'm 23 and they haven't got no better. Yeah, I'm screwed.
you can go.
Yeah, just
it's
price.
It's a weird surgery. I will say that. Probably the weirdest thing that's ever been done to me or happened to me in my life. You sit there with your eyes. They pretty much toothpick tape your eyes wide open, Zach. So you can't blink. And the so what they have to do is they have to cut the layer that's on top of your eye, and they peel it back, kind of like an orange, right? You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But Hunter, you can see it. So just picture, you're looking right now at the screen, and you can see a layer of your eye be peeled back. I mean, you can see it come off your eye. So what they do is they peel that off, and then they tape it down, and then the laser shoots in your eye and cuts off the cornea, I guess, or whatever. I might be getting a little bit of that wrong. But that was weird. Really weird. What was scary was that to do that and use the laser, they had to go complete dark on you, on your eyes. So you're sitting there with your eye, well, because they're only working on one at a time, your eyes wide open. And I don't know how they did it, what button they pressed, what machine they pressed. They took all the light away. And I'm sitting there with a wide open eye, and I can't see nothing. It's just, walking around in the dark. That's how it felt. Like I thought I was blind. And Zach, I started praying for about 5 minutes. Please, God, if this is it, just let me know. Give me a sign. I'm sitting there thinking, let me hear a doctor say oops or something, like or cuss, or just like, give me a sign something's going wrong now. Is this right? A few minutes later, it started looking like it was pitch dark, and then it looked like you were looking at space. You started seeing like stars. And then all of a sudden, there's like, hold on, and boom, the light comes on. And then they put your eye back. And your eye, they don't like sew it back. It just like grows back into itself.
What the hell, man?
What if you was the first?
You ready to get LASIK now?
What if you was
No! I was seriously thinking about it, getting it, though, in like a few years.
Everybody I tell that to, they're like, they have the same reaction you have, basically.
What if you was the first person to have to do that?
God.
Like you're the guinea pig. Yeah.
I felt like a guinea pig. I felt like these guys, I hope they know what they're doing. I'm sitting in Morganton getting it done, Zach. I'm in the middle of the North Carolina mountains here. I don't know where I'm about to end up. I know that's not the middle of the North Carolina mountains, folks, but it's on the way. But yeah, weird is all I can describe. But if I didn't have to go through those two type things that freaked me out a little bit, it's well worth it after. I'll put it that way. Well worth it after, because I never had to put the stupid contacts in. And I used to sleep in them, just leave them in all the time. I'm sure you probably do.
Nah,
Take 'em out?
if I'm late, I take them out. Because I don't like waking up and my eyes sometimes being stuck.
Right. I just got used to them. I'm like, I'm just leaving these in. I'm not going to take them out every night. So you're not ready for the LASIK eye surgery?
Not now.
But Jameis should be, right?
Yeah.
All right, Zach, we were looking through the Braves lineup and how much money it cost. All right. So Trout's getting $37 million, right? Catcher, first base, second, shortstop, third, left field, center field, right field. All the positions, right? You have to cut either you get to keep one of them. Freddie Freeman or Marcell Ozuna, who you just signed. Okay? Just give me one name.
You have to cut.
Which one do you
of
want
them.
to keep?
Oh, Osuna.
Freeman or Osuna?
Osuna.
You want to keep Osuna and get rid of Freeman? All right. That means the other 7 players in your lineup would all have to be traded to pay for Mike Trout. Mike Trout is paid the same as 7 of the 8 Brave starters. You just have to pick Freeman or Acuna that you don't want in there.
Ozuna.
And,
Or Ozuna. I'll never get that
I was
right.
thinking it was Acuna, but and you think about that.
I'm talking about Ozuna. There's Ozuna and Acuna.
Yeah, no.
That's going to be fun for the Braves announcers.
You think about what he brings to.
Is one player worth 7 starters?
That's what I was fixate.
That's
I don't
insane.
think that what he's bringing to the team.
We'd lose the whole infield.
Yeah, that's what it is. You
I'm
could lose
saying,
to
though,
the whole
For what they're
infield.
paying for one person, would you not want to have
7 starters?
serviceable players that are above average?
Right.
I would take it any day of the week.
Football and baseball are team sports.
Baseball fans tell you-
basketball, you can be more of a solo act.
Baseball fans tell you all the time, one player doesn't make a team.
Right.
But then they'll turn around and say,
Mike Trout.
pay him $40 million.
Well, look
I
at
just
the,
said I could give you 7 starters on a playoff team or 1 starter who's never won a playoff game in 9 years.
the other guy, and his name is slipping me for some reason. Harper.
Yeah,
Bryce Harper. I mean, he didn't even produce last year after they gave him the money that they gave him.
He went to the Phillies. This is his first year with the Phillies. You know who won the World Series? The Nationals, who he
that
played for
interesting?
before. The
And
rest is history.
And I
That's
think, I
they
think he
probably
was on-
signed $30 million worth of good players.
That's what they did.
And I would do that in a heartbeat.
Well, what I was getting at earlier with him was, we got rid of Pujols, but we still are been successful because we spent $30 million on
Right.
other people.
And then
Zach, who's the 3 best outfielders you've seen
all
in
time,
your life?
Ken Griffey Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Jones.
Not defensive. I'm just talking about all around. Bonds, Griffey.
Oh,
Who's considered the best outfielder?
that I've seen Bonds, Griffey.
I really just wanted those 2, but you can give me a couple more if you want. Just think of some really good outfielders. Ichiro, that we've seen.
That was an on-base percentage hitter.
He's a batting average hitter.
Yeah, I was about
He
to
got-
say. It was just
What do you
BA.
get? 2,000 hits in 2 different leagues. Didn't he
Yeah.
get it in Japan too?
Yeah.
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 I think he's the all-time leader if you combine them, right?
Maybe.
If you combine,
it's darn
if you
close.
combine both of them, his league in Japan and over here on the MLB.
Well, I got Ichiro. Who else? Let's see. That's just 3. Let's just say those 3. One of the best hitters ever, base hitters ever. Bonds, and Griffey. Let's throw Mike Trout in that group. Those 4 added together, how many World Series championships do they have? None. Ichiro, Bonds, Trout, and Griffey.
Giants must have got theirs after Bonds left then.
They did. They got beat by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim when he was there. Without Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Was Pujols on them by then or no?
No.
Pujols hasn't won one. They didn't even win a playoff game. Trout's never won a game, not a series act, a game. So, once again, all right. So Ichiro, Bonds, and Trout and Griffey have 0, right? Do you know how many the Molina brothers have? The catchers, Benji, Jose, and Yadier.
4.
Combined 5.
That was close.
The catching Molina brothers, folks, have 5 World Series titles. Now, is that just plain luck, Hunter, that they're on 5 great teams? I don't think it is. And then the outfielders, the 3 or 4 of the best outfielders we've ever had in the past 20, 30 years, none of them have won a single World Series title. I was bringing up the hits list. You see Ichiro in here? There he is, 23. He ended up with 3,000 hits.
And that's probably just in the MLB, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
definitely MLB.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty impressive.
I want to look up what year
That
it
is
was when he
pretty
started. I mean, 3,000 hits is
By
great.
itself.
Yeah.
And I want to say he was hits leader when he came over here in Japan.
He is finished 23rd all time in hits. The highest active leader is Pujols at 14th. Looking at his, he plays about 3 more years. He could probably get close to, and he can get the top 10. He'll get it somewhere around the top 10s where Pujols will end up. Now, Zach, you didn't get here earlier. I got to make fun of Hunter for a minute. I got to make fun of the Karate Kid over here for a second.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Whatever.
He had never heard of Stan Musial.
Wow. Him, if you were talking about, I'd put 3 people in the category: Ted Williams, Stan Musial, Ken Griffey Jr. Best 3 swings all time.
I like to put them in lefty righty.
Yeah.
So lefty Ted and Stan Musial and Griffey, and then Bond's probably the best. I would say those 4.
Bonds' swing was different. And we talked about this.
It was
on the
just
last
short,
show.
compact, and in
Small
the
bat,
zone.
short, compact, very fast. Griffey's was a long swing, if you remember, but it was graceful.
Yeah, he couldn't catch up to the high fastball late in his career.
But he had a perfect swing. And I think Ted Williams.
If you threw the ball to Griffey, belt and lower, there's a good chance it was getting just stroked.
Ugly swing, Babe Ruth.
He used like a 38.
Yeah.
38.
He's like he was just like.
He swung with a tree.
Yeah.
Hunter, just look real quick notes, just to give you an idea on Stan the Man. RBIs is 8th all time. Hits. Look where he's at in hits all time. 4th.
He would probably go down as the best Cardinal of all time, you would think.
Except Pujols.
Yeah.
They're right there together.
Close, really close.
But ones you can also break that into righty lefty hitter if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean.
But Stan the Man, that's his name, by the way, Stan the Man.
It was.
Quick thing about him, Zach. We went to St. Louis. We went to Ozzie Smith's restaurant and just kind of talking to some of the people there, and just in St. Louis. Stan had an office in St. Louis, and it was always open. As in anybody could come to Stan. Once in the last 20, 30 years since he's retired, you could go to Stan Musial's office, and if he was there and didn't have someone in there, he would sit down and meet with anybody. And the guys in St. Louis were just telling us stories about how nice he was. He drove around. When I was there, he's too old to drive. He had a driver. He rides around in this red Cadillac with Stan the Man on the plate.
That's awesome.
It don't say Stan the Man. It just says the Man. It don't say because you can't fix Stan in there.
You take Large Marge and go up there and follow him around.
But everybody says just such a nice guy, and I did want to. I thought I had to tell Zach that one when he said that. He said he knew who Babe Ruth was. He gets credit for that one.
Like I said, we did not get to see him play, but we had the benefit of your dad telling us.
Exactly.
But we did have that benefit. So
Like I told him, I said, look, man, I'm not a Cardinals fan. I don't know all the Cardinals out there. So, and he played in what? He played 60 years ago?
it was
Hunter, I just told you he's top 10 in every stat. I mean, just look up something. Just look up something one day.
I'll go to my grave with Griffey. I mean, I just stand on Griffey. I think for me, he's my favorite of all time. With not even close with anybody else.
Real quick, we're Stan the Man on the home run list. I'll find him. I think he had like 470 something. Yeah, 475, 32nd with Miguel Cabrera. So 475 home runs. Musial ended up with 1,900 RBIs, just 41 shy of the Bonds. I can't believe he quit with four RBIs away from the 2,000. Pujols got more RBIs than Bonds now, Zach, in 3 less years. But RBIs don't matter. We talked about that earlier.
That just makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I went down and read. This is what brought it up. I went down this list and I said, Hunter, tell me if these guys are good. And I said, Stan Musial. He said, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's think about this. Okay, so you say that everybody says now RBIs don't count. Okay, so let's think of baseball in technical terms. If you got these statisticians, you put your Ichiros right leading off because you expect them to
not hit
on
base,
right?
We just
and
talked,
then
we talked about that.
You put your guys in behind them because you expect them whether they're going to fly out.
Yeah.
And even if it's a pop up to the outfield, you're going to advance another runner.
That's what I told him. I said, look, growing up, playing Little League, who batted 5 through 9?
Yeah.
Everybody can't hit.
Right. 5, you could be serviceable.
Maybe.
6, 7, 8, 9,
no.
you're a scrub.
Yeah. You can't hit.
And when we talk about that, I would say hello to Woody on there. He throwing in a David Justice as one of his favorite all-time outfielders. That's
I like
Zach
Dave
likes some Dave Justice.
I like Dave Justice.
Zach gave Justice an honorable mention on the Braves. We did the Braves Mount Rushmore a few podcasts ago, and he gave him a honorable mention on that. Zach, Ichiro numbers. You ready for this? Started when he was 27. 27. Trout's already played 7 years since
Yeah.
in Major League Baseball, and he'll probably end up with more hits than him. Listen to his hits. Now, I'm going to remind you, Mike Trout has never had 200 hits in a season, okay? Here's Ichiro's. 242, 208, 212, 262, 206, 224, 238, 213, 225, 214. His first 10 years in the majors, starting at 27 years old, he had 200 hits a year.
If you were talking about
Zach, that puts him in just those 10 years when we go find the hits leaders at 2,000. That would put him at he got 2,000 hits in 10 years.
Mhm.
So he's in here with Piazza at 2,100 in his career. Gary Carter 2,000, Harmon Killebrew 2,000 in their career. Just look at some of these people just barely over 2,000. Yogi Berra, Larry Walker just got in the Hall of Fame. Joe DiMaggio 2,200, McCovey 2,200, and Ichiro had pretty much that in his first 10 years of his career.
Yeah,
Starting at 27.
And if you're talking about, if you would say best leadoff hitter, or let's say, leadoff hitters of all time, two come to my mind.
I know one.
Ricky Henderson.
Yes.
I would take him every day. And then you got Ichiro would be number two. That's just me in my mind thinking that.
How good would Ricky be in today's game where all you do is strike out, hit home runs, and then he would then think about him stealing bases too? He didn't walk much at all. That's his only problem as a leadoff hitter when people want to say, well, maybe I don't want Ricky, and because he didn't walk much at all. But as far as the striking out and the home runs and the stolen bases, Hunter, when he stole third base to break, was it Vince Coleman's record? No,
Yep.
Lou Brock's record.
Yep.
They gave him the microphone. He said, first thing he said was, "I'm the greatest." Yeah, I'm the greatest. He went straight to it. Like, you should have seen this dude. He was cocky. He was funny.
And he was a ripped dude. He played till he was like 48.
Yeah, Ricky Henderson was in good shape.
So,
He only played for like 22
He
teams.
was one of my
though,
all-time favorites too. So
Who was the other one you was going to mention?
it was Ichiro would be number, as a leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
In the one spot, I couldn't think of anybody. I mean,
Unless you want Ty Cobb back in the day or Rogers
Yeah.
Hornsby back in the day, but Ricky.
I can put Derek Jeter there at one.
5.
did he usually bat 2 or did he bat 1?
No, he's batted one always.
Did he?
16 different organizations at some point, which some of them are the same. That's just how many times he changed teams. Or those are just different. Are those different uniform numbers? That was. Why would they list it like that? That's stupid. I'm gonna go back and change that. 1, 2. Back to Oakland. Back to Toronto. Oakland. Jeez, goodness. Here we go. Here's the teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams. Zach.
Right.
In 25 years. He played a quarter of a
Now,
century.
go look at his stolen base numbers. Look at the hundreds. Was it hundreds? Yeah. Look at that. That is ridiculous. 130 stolen bases. You talking about 30 clubs and stuff like that. He's stealing 130 bases. He took 30 steals, like touche, but
Right.
he is stealing every time he gets on.
Who led?
How many hits did he have?
Hold on.
Hits.
Get back up to that. All-time hits be down here.
Well, no. Go back up to it in first year. He had 143
That
hits. He
ain't-
stole 130 times.
143 hits.
90%
Stole
of the
100
time he's on base, he stole.
on hits. The walks he had 116.
Okay, so you could say 50% of the
250,
time he's stealing.
259. That's 260. Right at it. 50% of the time he got on base, and some of those hits are doubles, which is 25. So it's actually bigger than
Isn't
50%.
that awesome?
About 60% of the time he's going to second.
That's awesome.
60% of the time that Ricky Henderson got on first base, he made it to second base.
There was a RBI baseball that came out on Nintendo years ago that had the Oakland A's team, and if Ricky Henderson got on base, you could steal him home all 3 spots every time. He was that fast. You could bunt, and he would be at second base before the pitcher could get the ball.
So here's another one I want to mention when you home all-time steals, Zach.
Vince Coleman.
Vince Coleman,
Yeah, I knew
110,
that.
109, 107, 81, 77, 65, 50, and 42, which is his. He had 42 steals when he was 33 years old.
And he kind of got overshadowed because of Ricky Henderson doing what he was doing. But
He got overshadowed by Ricky Henderson. He also got overshadowed by Lou Brock actually having the steals record in the Cardinal. Then on the teams, Ozzie was on those teams. Willie McGee won an MVP on those teams. So
that was my favorite.
he was kind
Cardinal
of
those days.
overshadowed by a lot. But he had 3, 6, 7 years over 50 is what Vince Coleman had. Ricky Henderson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would have pulled this up on everybody just to see they can see it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years, Zach, of 50 steals or more. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
It is. It is.
I mean, that goes back to they should be doing analytics. You're advancing the runner towards the home plate.
You know, the question on that is, you start as far as the walking RBIs, that would you rather have the guy that walked to first, the guy that knocks him in from first?
Guy that knocks him in.
Just wonder.
I mean, but you need them both. I mean,
Right.
you gotta have both. So
Hey, Albert Pujols, who has he knocked in the most in his career?
of what?
What player?
You talking about the most RBIs ever?
No. That Pujols has knocked in 3 guys a lot in his career. 3 people. Who did he knock in the most in his career? And I'm gonna give you a hint. One of them is Mike Trout.
I can see that.
They've been together 10 years now. About
trying to think of somebody that played with him on the Cardinals, but
Skip Schumacher is 3rd on the list for the Cardinals. He's the highest Cardinal. Guess who number 1 is? Albert Pujols. He knocked himself in.
Because he had home run?
He knocked himself in more than anyone else. Think about that. So he needs he's Albert Pujols with 600 RBIs has almost as many RBIs as Trout does. Trout's got 752, Zach, in 10 years. Pujols has got 600 homers. He's knocked himself in almost as many as Trout has himself. I was trying to find this year's stolen base year. There it is, 48. Hunter, this year's stolen base leader, 6 from Malik Smith in Seattle is the leader this year.
Wasn't even over 50.
Ricky Henderson did 46 one extra time.
He probably averaged. He probably averaged for his career. Do his years time.
162 game average, 74.
He averaged more. He doubled the MLB leader in average.
Averaged 74 stolen bases per every 162 games, folks. Ricky, the greatest. That's why the self-proclaimed greatest in baseball history. Well, I mean, that's the argument of voter. Would you rather have Ozzie or Pujols on your team? And let's take Ozzie's name out. Let's just use Willie McGee. Would you rather have Willie McGee or Albert Pujols? They both won MVPs. Willie was the setup guy. Pujols knocked them in. So that's your argument on that.
I do like Willie McGee. He's one of my favorite Cardinals.
Well, Dad will always say he's the ugliest man in baseball history. You got any other nom? You want to do? Hey, we can do the Mount Rushmore of ugly baseball players. Do you have it?
No.
No nominations?
No.
I got another nomination.
Did y'all do? Y'all probably had a podcast since Sunday, I'm sure.
No, it's today.
Did y'all
We
talk
took
about
Monday
Kobe?
off.
No, we're not. We hadn't. We're going to in a minute. What did I just say before you just say? I always forget the last thing.
Something about
The ugly people. Gary Gaetti. I nominate him as one of the ugliest people ever. You remember him?
Crook.
You remember Gary Gaetti?
Yeah.
He was on the Cardinals team later here in a few years, and Willie was coaching, and Dad was loving it. He was like, these two ugliest people I've ever seen play baseball. That's Gary Gaetti. Both of them. This is what he said about Willie. Willie always looks like he's smelling something that stinks. You ever seen him? I'll pull up Willie. Nicest guy, coached the Cardinals and everything. Wonderful player. But Willie always looked like he was smelling something stinky.
One of my favorite players all time. One of my favorite players all time. He was good. I forgot how. Was he center fielder? Was he center fielder?
Yes. Vince played a lot of it. Vince played a lot of left field too. But Willie won the '85 MVP.
Like I said,
he's a cutie.
Really, really like that dude.
I'm sure our fans at home. This is what Willie. He wouldn't make it on The Bachelor at all. All right, Zach, we're going down our notes, getting into some of it here and there real quick. Let me finish up. Let's see if there's anything else on my daily thing for talk about Kobe.
and I'm gonna run.
Went through NASCAR and other stuff. So everyone knows about the Kobe thing and what happened. Trying to figure out how I want to get started with this on exactly what everyone. There's so many different angles to talk about: basketball, off the court, on the court. I'm gonna take a different angle as far as real quick and let you guys say whatever you want. One thing I don't understand, I've never had a understanding of, is celebrity hero worship. So, like, if someone doesn't win a Oscar or a Grammy, people actually get upset about that. Or if someone doesn't win an MVP or makes an All-Star team or gets a Gold Glove, people get upset about that. And I've never understood that at all. And Kobe lived a life that 99.999% of this planet will never live. You got to think about it. The folks that died on his helicopter, none of them were paying for that helicopter.
Right.
Kobe's paying for the helicopter. All of them should be regular kids. Should be riding in a car to the game like the rest of their teammates. Was it 3 girls on it? Or it was 3 little girls. I think that's the saddest part is the little girls. Kobe. I'm not saying nothing bad about Kobe. What I'm saying is he had a great, wonderful life. Dying in tragedy is awful. What I'm saying is I feel extremely bad for little girls that didn't need to be in that position. Probably shouldn't have been in that position. And I can only imagine what went on during the flight. So with all that said, I feel really terrible about the kids and everything. And one thing that I try to caution to, and we don't talk a lot of things on our shows about, say, is when some of these people dies, because we don't know how or what. Like the kid for Anaheim, he pretty much OD'd, and they swept it under the rug.
Right.
And so we had people coming on TV and talking about him and this and that and how great a guy he was and this and at some point we have to talk about everything that happened. Kobe had a settlement. Kobe settled for sexual assault. So did Peyton Manning. Nobody brings up that stuff. That's fine. That shouldn't have anything to do with this. If you want to bring it up, I don't have a problem with it. The Mavericks retiring number 24.
Right.
I don't get that at all. I understand people in the league being sad about him because everybody knew him. 100% get that. The fans I don't get some of. Like, why are you upset as a fan? He's not playing one. I'm more upset about the girls. But as far as, the Mavericks retiring the number, why didn't they retire it in the last few years? If he was that good and that important, and you see what I mean? Like, they're not retiring 8. They're only putting 24 up there.
Right.
So 8 doesn't count. 24 does. Is he only being retired because he died? Is he only being retired because he died in a helicopter accident? Or is he being retired because he's a great basketball player on another team? It's just so many different things. Like, if Jordan dies in a helicopter accident tonight, do we retire his number across the league? Like, where's the line? Where's the line?
That's been talks. Is like, why is 23 still able to be worn?
Well, I understand
Everybody has said
but
23 should have been retired for years.
I just want to know where. It's just me being picky. Like with the line with the college football, when we vote on college football and we talk about quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, I always just want to know where the line is. Is it because if it was Rick Fox that died, would we be having the same? Would people be having the same reaction? Right. Or Vlade Divac? If Vlade Divac, and then we talk about Kobe, the little girls, y'all. They're the ones that lost their lives. Kobe lost his life, yes, but like I said, he had a life that any of us could ever dream of. But his girls and those 2 other ones, and then the baseball coach and their family, and I feel bad about all them. Is everybody's not mentioning their names a lot, and it's all about the Kobe thing, and I understand it because he's a big popular player and everything. But then again, like I said, I hate that just him is being overshadowed by the girls and everything. And then last point, the same thing with the NBA when they had the issue in Hong Kong. When it affects their bottom line, they won't go out of the line and say something or do something. 176 people were shot out of the air just 2 weeks ago. Innocent people just got on a plane trying to leave Iran, and they were all shot and killed. And not a single NBA player came on TV and said anything about it. Said, "Man, this is a tragedy. We should be worried about this." So, a lot of it, I just, I'm feel sad about it. The whole situation. It's just a lot of weird stuff around everything that just I have questions about / just concern me, especially the little girls and everything. One of the reports that I saw was that there were hikers or mountain bikers that kind of saw the accident.
There was a video of it.
They said that when they came out of the cloud, it was already on fire. So how did that happen? They said when they saw the helicopter come out of the clouds, it was already on fire.
There's never. I think they're still investigating. There hasn't been a report on why a perfectly good helicopter would be going down. Because everybody knows when those things go in a tailspin,
They said that
there's no saving it. I wonder if maybe it was bird strike.
they've got somebody that was supposedly on radio with the plane, or excuse me, with the helicopter pilot, and he kept telling him, you're too low, and he said, I'm pulling up, and he hit it 180 miles an hour, and the top speed for that plane was 178.
Right.
So either he went down hard or he didn't even see the mountain and they went straight into it.
All right, so I was reading the helicopter pilot's assessment of it, and he was talking about they don't have the ground radar. They have to talk. That's what he was talking to the guy about, and he told him to get up higher. He was saying at that point, when he couldn't see going forward, all pilots are taught that you probably should turn around and go back the exact same way you just came, because it's clear the reports was he raised up fast. And he's saying what happened is that at a certain point when he got raised up, he thinks that either a stall happened and the guy, there was something he was doing that you can save it, maybe you can't. He was trying to save it, and that's how they got up to 180 miles per hour, is how he was trying to turn it or something like that. I don't know the exact details. But I did think, like you said, we don't even know exactly what happened. But the reports from the mountain bikers saying that they saw when he came out of the cloud, it's not like they ran into a mountain and fell and rolled down the hill. They're saying they came out and he saw the helicopter on fire before it was hitting the ground. And that would, to me, that's some type of explosion has to happen. You just don't catch on fire in midair like that. I would imagine, I guess, in fog. I was thinking that, hey, they just ran into the mountain and they'll or something like that, or the hills or something, and it's not. Is what it's looking like. It's looking like he just dropped out of the sky, and it's just weird to me. You're in fog, you drop out of the sky, you're already on fire. What happened there? But we don't know. We can't. One
thing I would bring up, I'm gonna get off here in 1 second. I gotta go pick my son up, but I do remember Skip Bayless saying, and you guys might have seen the first take. Not first take, excuse me, Skip. What is he on? Undisputed. He said that he called his wife Ernestine that morning, and this is before it all happened. And she said, "It is so foggy out here, I can't see across our street."
Right.
And then she calls him
I've
back.
I've drove plenty of cars I didn't think we should be driving.
And she's hysterical, saying Kobe's dead. And he said, "No, you have to be mistaken. There's no way Kobe Bryant, of all people." So I'd bring that up. And one thing, I guess what I wanted to know from you guys was, to get away from the crash and everything else on my own part, was if you were putting him all time, where would you rank him? I know on shooting guards he's probably 2, right?
Behind Michael.
Number 2. What would you think, Kevin?
There's a good argument for that.
Who could possibly be the other one that you would put in on that? Anybody? I was trying to think in my own mind. Would it be Clyde Drexler up in that area? Probably not. I'm trying to think of a good 2 guard that would go in on that, because I was thinking, but all time, he's got to be top 10, right?
Player?
Yeah.
All time. My thing with the NBA players, and when you talk, it's hard to do. You have to take the centers out,
right?
Or no, you have to do all centers or no centers, because they're completely different games.
Positional,
right? If you're doing no centers, yes. If you're doing centers, I don't know. Maybe not, because you're throwing Shaq and Chamberlain and Jabbar in there, and even I don't know. Does Kobe win more than 2 championships if Shaq's not in L.A.? That's another question. So, he's got 5, but does he win another one without Kobe in L.A., without Shaq in L.A.? I don't know. You're probably right. He's in a fight for the 2 spot, I would say. Just trying to think, Zach. I don't know. I'll get you a list here in a second.
And 2, I was thinking in my
people
own
don't
mind.
even talk about Clyde Drexler anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you know who Clyde Drexler is, Hunter?
Yes, I know who Clyde Drexler is.
That's a legitimate question.
I know who Clyde the Glide is. And
then 2, the one thing that if you ask me a remembrance of what if I said what do you who do you think Kobe Bryant?
D Wade.
D Wade, yeah, he's got to be.
D Wade
Probably 3.
It's probably D Wade or Kobe at 2.
Iverson was a one guard. So.
He was 1
Reggie
and 2.
Miller's very good. He's not better than Kobe.
Iverson started as a point guard and moved over to the 2 once they got a bigger point. Larry Brown got there and got bigger point guards, McKee and Eric Snow.
Kobe had the killer instinct that I loved with Jordan and everybody else.
So, Dwayne Wade, how many championships he got? 4?
I thought 3.
3.
Got 1 with Shaq.
1 with Shaq, 2 with LeBron.
2 with LeBron. He didn't win any without Shaq or LeBron?
No.
We sure about that?
I thought
he won 1 without.
He didn't win one by himself?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, it's Shaq.
Yeah. Zach, I mean, I would say maybe so.
Yeah. Number 2 guard. And like I said, Tracy McGrady was talking about him. I don't know if y'all
3-time
seen
champ, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy McGrady was talking about him, and they were really close friends. And he said he would sit and watch videotapes of ball players, especially Michael. And he said he would continually rewind them talking or playing. And he said he was memorizing everything he did.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see that in his game and when he talked to the media. He was imitating Michael Jordan.
Right. Yeah. Everything, all his playing and
All his
stuff,
moves.
everything he took from Michael. And what Michael did was, see, back in the day, the guards would just attack or pass. Michael took the big man's game to the guards and the post ups and the back 'em downs and everything like that. James Harden's up here, Zach. Give you an example.
I'm not a Harden fan.
So I'll give you a quick example on Harden.
He's a no defensive player.
So he's got 37 points a game. He's trying to best Michael's scoring average for a season. Harden averages, was it 14 or 18? 14 threes a game.
Yeah.
You know what Michael averaged the year he scored 37 a game?
2?
0.8. Michael shot 1 3 a game and averaged 37 from the 2-guard position. That right there, people, when you start talking about Harden, he shoots 14 threes a game.
And he shoots 20 free throws.
He shoots a ton.
Well, I'll go ahead and go into the Kobe Bryant thing. We've been running pretty long today. But for Kobe, he can go down for me probably as a top 5 player of all time, just of what he brought to the floor, his mentality. It's one thing for people to say, I want to be like Michael, and it's one thing to go out there and try and be like Michael. He was pretty damn close at it.
Yep.
He was, if not mirror image, to some people. I'll say this as well. Michael's career started to come to an end in the early 2000s, right when Kobe's started to really blossom. So for kids my age and those a little bit older that got to see him when he came in as a rookie in 96, I think we can all say that Kobe Bryant, to a lot of this generation, that's why it was a little hard for me when I heard the news, was Kobe Bryant, just in what he was able to do championship-wise and on the floor, was our equivalent to Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
He was the shadow of Michael when Michael started to, and Michael came out and said, he's like a little brother to me. That's what Michael said in his statement on the
Shaq's
issue.
response really, you could see that he had. I don't know if you guys seen it.
Shaq was upset. He's pretty tore up. And I've read so far Shaq's Miami Super Bowl event. All proceeds are going to
all the celebrities, everyone who
Bryant.
knew him, I 100% understand it.
Yeah.
I don't
That's the
understand
thing.
why you would be upset or
Right,
Zach would
right.
be upset.
I mean,
I would
it's
be upset.
just
It's sad to me.
Look, it's one of those things
Right.
where I would understand if he was older, and maybe it was natural causes. I don't think anybody wants to go in that manner.
Right.
Whether
That's-
it's a car,
Did y'all see
whether it's
the,
a car
did y'all see
accident,
the
a
Tracy
helicopter.
McGrady comment where he
He
said,
said he
as a
always
young,
want to talk about he wants to
die
die
young?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Well, I'll give you a couple quick things. He was killed in a helicopter accident in a cartoon. Did you see that one? A few years earlier on Comedy Central. Then he was in a Nike commercial with Kanye West where he had a basketball that was a bomb, and Kanye was in the helicopter, and he threw the basketball and blew up the helicopter and killed Kanye. In a commercial. That's a Nike commercial. So 2 different helicopter things right there with him.
it's just one of those things where it's like, to a lot of kids growing up, I know you guys probably growing up looking up to Michael.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, hey man, and that they would have made a movie like Mike if it wasn't somebody everybody looked up and at one point would aspire to be him on the basketball court. And kids nowadays, before LeBron came into the league, that was Kobe. Everybody wanted to be Kobe, and everybody in the league that's young, maybe rookies or second or third year, they're saying, I wanted to be Kobe. That's what LeBron said. He said, I wanted to be Kobe or Michael. I wanted to just live up to him. So I think what makes it so tough is the fact that he was only 41. This is the first time really there's been anybody this young to die in this of this magnitude, of his legendary status in basketball, and the fact that it was a helicopter crash. Like,
Did that
it
team
wasn't
right there
it wasn't just of sickness.
I like pulling that one up. I was seeing if Kobe was on this team. So I officially give Kobe the second shooting guard because I wanted to make sure he wasn't on this team of embarrassment before I give anybody anything. The 2004, real quick, folks, before we get out of here, I love this one. The 2004. So we talk, you can talk, Zach, when you talk LeBron and them, this is what you need to bring up. Anytime anybody brings up LeBron, be like, well, look, the way I see it, we can talk our 6 champions. 6-0 is better than 3-6. And y'all, if y'all don't believe so, I hate to break your hearts.
Yeah.
But I'm going to read something to you, Zach. 1976, you ready? Gold. 1984, gold. 88, bronze.
That
92,
was not with professionals, I don't believe, though.
88, yeah, these are not professionals. Then starting with professionals in 92, gold, gold, gold. Bronze in 2004.
Third.
Then gold, gold, gold. The 2004 team is the only team with pro players that didn't win the championship. Who was the leader of that team, folks? None other than the loser, James. He lost 6 championships and the gold medal, Zach.
Yep.
Not 1 championship, not 2, not 3, 4, 5. What was that commercial? What did he say they was going to do?
Yeah.
He counted to 6. We're going to lose 6 championships, and I'm going to embarrass my country
Right.
and lose the gold medal. Here's the players that were on that team: Iverson, Marbury, D. Wade, Boozer, Carmelo, LeBron, the banana boat, basically, except for Chris Paul, Emeka Okafor, Sean Marion, Monty Stoudemire, Tim Duncan, Lamar Odom, and Richard Jefferson were the losers of that team. So LeBron lost the gold medal. Real quick, Zach, give me a guess.
Yes.
The NC State, Terry Reinhardt's NC State Mount Rushmore.
David Thompson.
That's one.
Chris Corciani.
Nope.
Rodney Monroe.
He's 2. Andre don't even remember Rodney Monroe.
Rodney Monroe shops
He
in my
was
store.
nasty.
He's awesome.
Shut it, does he really?
Love him to death. He's so nice.
Get Rodney Monroe. Anything NC State signed in here, it'll go up on the wall,
Okay.
and
He's
Terry would
super
love
nice. He coaches a local basketball team. Who would be number 3? Gugliotta.
it. Nope. That was the one I told him he lost his ever-loving mind on. Googs was on Dream Team too.
Yeah, Gugliotta was awesome. I'm trying to think in my head.
Zach, he's the only state player to win an Olympic medal, and he didn't even have him in their top 4. Averaged 20 and 10 2 years. All-star. Nate McMillan and T.J. Warren is who he had.
I didn't even know they were
State.
state players. So go figure that.
All right, Zach, you got to go.
All right, buddy, I got to roll get my
Okay, yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Good to have you.
All right, will you be here Friday? No.
No, I got to work.
Okay, see you, buddy. All right, we've had a longer than I thought show.
Yeah.
We're about ready to check out. Hunter, you got an explanation of why you look like the Karate Kid today, or is this Gardner Minshew,
This is Hunter.
or is this Hunter Yancey?
This is Hunter Yancey.
That's the Hunter
That's
Yancey
just
outfit.
me, man.
Outfit. I don't
Just
know.
me.
Do you wear outfits? Or you're
No, I just however I want to dress. I don't know. I thought about going to the gym later,
Everywhere I
have a
was
little
looking for.
sweatband on. It's whatever.
people watching at home is gonna see. Probably saw us switch camera angles like 7 times.
Yeah.
We've got the thing for me to switch the cameras is only 20 feet away, and I'm trying to read it on a screen.
Right.
It's really small.
Right.
All right, Hunter, you got any other news, notes, thoughts
Nah, I mean,
on anything happened this week?
I think we really just touched up on everything so far. The only thing that we'll be holding on to is a prediction Friday.
Friday we'll have predictions for the Super Bowl. Let's be prepared for Mount Rushmore. Okay, See if you can get you a Chiefs and 49ers together. 49ers will be easier than the Chiefs, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, I can get 2 out of the 4 right there.
Who?
Montana and Rice.
All right. I was just wondering. I didn't know. Have you ever heard of Joe Montana? He played before you were born. I didn't know.
I'm done.
The Donner's done for the day. All right.
Dion.
He only played 1 year. I don't know if he would
was there.
qualify. I don't know if he
was
would
there.
qualify for that. All right. Hey, he pretty much got. You have to argue whether Steve Young's on there, Dion, Terrell Owens, T.O. Charles Haley.
Can't take
Charles. Haley might be the one that has to be there. All right, folks. For everybody watching online
Patrick Willis.
and listening on our podcast, or we got to get them mixed up. We do them all.
Do them all.
We'll see you guys next week, or not next week. Friday. I'm on Saturday mode. We'll see you Friday morning about noontime on KTC Broadcasting. You guys can't even hear the music online right now. I guess that's beaten. Yeah, it's beaten. All right. People can't hear it. All right. We'll see you Friday on Shock Joxx.